Senator Fernandi, I've just noticed that there is a statement pursuant to Standing Order 52.1. Okay. So allow that statement to be made, and then you can take the floor. Okay. Senator Kavindu, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Statement on the brutal murder of Miss Elizabeth Ngina Mulwa and the alarming rise in cases of femicide. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 to seek a statement on the matter of national concern, namely the brutal murder of Miss Elizabeth Ngina Mulwa, a 21-year-old second-year student in Thika Technical Training Institute. The alarming rise in cases of femicide and other gender-based violence across the country. Mr. Speaker, Kenya has recently witnessed a disturbing increase of the number of women and girls who have lost their lives as a result of brutal acts of violence. Many of these cases have involved torture, sexual assault, mutilation, and other inhuman acts that have shocked the nation and hastened concerns about the safety and security of women and girls. The recent murder of Miss Elizabeth Ngina Mulwa, whose mutilated body was discovered in a rented house in Kingombe Estate, Thika West Sub-County, is a tragic reminder of the growing threats of femicide in our country. While investigations into her death are ongoing, this incident has intensified public concerns over the increasing brutality of such crimes and the urgent need
Senator Osotsi and Senator Fernandi,
for decisive government intervention. Mr. Speaker, the Article 26 of Constitution guarantees every person the right to life, while Article 28 guarantees the right to human dignity. Further, Article 29 guarantees every person the right to freedom and security, including protection from all forms of violence. It is therefore deeply troubling that women and girls continue to lose their lives in such horrific circumstances, despite the Constitution guarantees. These recurring incidences underscores the urgent need for the stronger law enforcement, effective investigations, timely prosecutions, and enhanced measures to protect those at risk. Mr. Speaker, sir, femicide is not merely a criminal justice issue. It is a national crisis that demands urgent, coordinated, and sustained action. Government agencies must strengthen investigations and forensic capacities, ensure the swift prosecution of perpetrators, and intensify public awareness and prevention programs aimed at combating gender-based violence. Mr. Speaker, I strongly condemn these heinous acts of violence against women and girls. Such barbaric crimes have no place in a society founded on the rule of law, respect of human dignity, and the protection of the fundamental rights. Mr. Speaker, sir, I call upon the Inspector General of Police and Directorate of Criminal Investigations and all relevant government agencies to expedite investigations into the reported cases of femicide, including the murder of Miss Elizabeth Ngina Mulwa, to ensure that those responsible are brought to justice without delay. Implement effective measures to prevent further loss of lives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Agnes Kavindu Mudhama, the Senator Machakos County.
Senator Fernandi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for a statement on the state of Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on a matter of national concern regarding the state of Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC. Tenants and users of the Convention Center have raised concerns regarding the maintenance, sanitation, security, financial performance, and overall management of the center. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the current state of maintenance at KICC, particular sanitation, lighting, fumigation, and pest control, and the measures being taken to restore the center to acceptable international standards. Mr. Speaker, sir, number 2, the circumstances surrounding the recent change of security service providers, including the procurement process followed and measures in place to prevent access by hawkers and other unauthorized persons. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the annual revenue performance of KICC as of meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions tourism center from the financial year 2021-2022 to date, indicating the revenue targets and actual revenue realized in each year and explaining any significant variance. Mr. Speaker, sir, number 4, the status of implementation of the recommendation of the Auditor General, OAG, relating to governance, financial management, and asset management of Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, the refurbishment and modernization programs planned for the center, that is KICC, indicating the respective budgetary allocation and implementation timelines. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator for Nairobi City County.
Speaker, thank you. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the acute water shortage in Taita Taveta County. Mr. Speaker, despite hosting Mzima Springs, which produces nearly 300 million liters of fresh water daily, residents of Taita Taveta continue to face severe scarcity. This paradox highlights the urgent need for investment in bulk water supply infrastructure, sustainable utilization of natural springs, and supportive systems to guarantee reliable access to clean water. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, plans to improve water supply and distribution networks in Taita Taveta County, including specific projects, timelines, and anticipated impact on access to clean water. Two, strategies for sustainable utilization of Mzima Springs and other sources to meet county needs and, where feasible, support neighboring regions. Finally, Honorable Speaker, funding provisions for water infrastructure and electrification of pumping systems to ensure effective distribution. I thank you, Speaker.
Senator for Kisumu County, the Honorable Professor Tom Ajanda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two statements. The first statement, Mr. Speaker, is on the framework for identification, development, and support of athletic talent in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the framework for identification, development, and support of athletic talent in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, athletics remains one of Kenya's greatest sources of international recognition and national pride. However, concerns have continued to emerge from athletes regarding the limited support available during the early stages of their careers, with many receiving significant attention and assistance only after attaining international success. Given that athletics is one of Kenya's most successful exports and a major contributor to the country's global identity, Mr. Speaker, there's a need for clarity on the systems in place to identify, nurture, and support athletic talent before athletes reach elite-level competition. In the statement, the committee should address the following. One, the framework for the identification, recruitment, and development of athletic talent, highlighting the specific roles of the State Department for Sports, Athletics, Kenya, training institutions, and county governments in identifying, nurturing, and developing emerging athletes. Two, the support programs available at the grassroots and national levels, including access to training facilities, qualified coaching, medical care, nutrition equipment, financial assistance, as well as measures to ensure continuity of support through an athlete's career. Three, the criteria used in allocating government support to access to training programs, including how equitable regional representation, gender balance, disability, and equal access opportunities are ensured for all eligible. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the development of a sustainable national athletics talent pipeline to ensure that athletes representing Kenya at the international level are identified, nurtured, supported through a structured and coordinated system rather than relying on primarily on individual efforts and private initiatives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my second statement is on the protection, registration, and access to citizenship documentation for children born to Kenyan domestic workers abroad. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter of international concern regarding the protection, registration, and access to citizenship documentation for children born to Kenyan domestic workers abroad. Mr. Speaker, thousands of Kenyans, particularly women employed as domestic workers, continue to seek employment opportunities in foreign countries. While labor migration contributes significantly to the livelihoods of many Kenyan families, Mr. Speaker, concerns have emerged regarding the vulnerability of some migrant workers and their children, particularly in situations where children are born abroad and face challenges relating to birth registration, access to Kenyan citizenship documentation, maternal support and protection from exploitation. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the number of children born abroad to Kenyan migrant workers who've been registered through Kenyan diplomatic missions from 2021 to date, categorized by country of birth. 2, the measures taken by the State Department for Immigration and Citizen Services and the Kenya diplomatic missions to facilitate birth registration, issuance of citizenship, and identity documents for children born abroad. 3, the support mechanism available to Kenyan domestic workers who become pregnant or give birth while working abroad, including consular assistance, maternal health care, and protection from exploitation and abuse. 4, the steps being taken to address risk faced by migrant workers and their children, including reporting, investigation, and response mechanism for trafficking, exploitation, abandonment, and denial of basic rights. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the existing bilateral labor migration agreements, consular policies, and institutional arrangements aimed at protecting Kenyan migrant workers abroad and their children, including any proposed reforms to strengthen protection and accountability. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, before I allow comments, kindly allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 6 teachers and 45 students from Kavamama Education Center in Kitui County, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will request the Senator for Kitui County to extend a word of welcome to the delegation.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to join you and my colleagues in welcoming the delegation of teachers and students from Kavamama Academy. The Speaker, it is pronounced Kavamama and loosely translated to mother is better. We are happy that the students are here. They come from Mwingi North constituency of Ngomeni Ward. And Mr. Speaker, it's a hardship area. And I want to thank them for braving the hardships and the challenges of life to go through the system. It's one of the schools that is doing pretty well in that region. The school, Mr. Speaker, the Senate may want to take note that that school is very, very closely associated with the nominated Senator Beth Siengo. It's a very good way of giving back to society and just giving an opportunity to young people to also access education and aspire to be better people in life. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I join you and my colleagues to say to the delegation from Kavamama, Karibuni sana. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. If you get an opportunity to speak to these statements, kindly do so for not more than 3 minutes. Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to comment on the statement requested by the Honorable Senator Kavindu Muthama, the Senator from Machakos County. Mr. Speaker, brutal killings.
That statement was made under Standing Order 52-1.
No, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that. Then, Mr. Speaker, I would like to give the opportunity to somebody else to make a comment.
Senator Esi Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement by Senator Professor Tom Ojenda on the framework to identify talents. Mr. Speaker, while in support of the same in the athletic side, I feel that should cut across all sports. Like we have so many young people who have put themselves in teams playing football, and I think these are very good avenues of sporting very strong footballers who can even join our national team and put us on the world map or the country's map, because most of these teams that are coming up on their own are not given special attention and ends up demoralizing the young people who are venturing into this area. So I feel this statement is actually a wake-up call that we also put focus, apart from excelling on bookwork, we also need to develop the talent, and you develop talent by appreciating and taking note of whatever is existing. From schools, we have children who are already showing different abilities in the various schools they are in. Those are areas which the ministries, both of education and sports, can take advantage of to come up with a serious framework that can take into place and factor all these other aspects that Professor has mentioned, so that we are not only focusing on athletics, but sports in general. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Beth Siengo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Actually, I intended to contribute also to the statement by Senator Kavindu. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand to support the statement by Professor Ojienda on the statement on, about national security and defense. I mean, the registration and citizenship documentation for children born in Kenyan domestic workers abroad. Mr. Speaker, sir, women suffer a lot, those who are serving abroad, and when they give birth to children, some of them are not given citizenship in the countries where they are born. Others, when they are born, they are forced to be brought back to the country, and then they are brought up by relatives or grandparents, and they lack that attachment with their parents, just simply because their parents are working abroad. Mr. Speaker, it is very important to regularize and make sure that children born abroad by those who are working there are given documentation and they become citizens there, depending on the policies of that particular country. And if not, because Kenya allows dual citizenship, let it be considered, Mr. Speaker, sir, and these children get the right documentation so that they may grow together with their parents, they have that parental attachment, and then they also have a sense of belonging. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Chuter.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to contribute to Senator Cherargei's statement. Honorable Speaker, this is a very, very important statement brought up by Senator Cherargei. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, KICC is an icon and a magnificent structure, a masterpiece in this city and the country at large, Honorable Speaker. And it was constructed in 1973 with a capacity of 6,000 seating capacity, and it holds about 4,000 guests. Honorable Speaker, the statement by Senator Cherargei is inquiring, amongst many things, tenders, profitability, profit and loss of KICC. Honorable Speaker, the most important thing I want to add on what Senator Cherargei has asked is to inquire the issues of pending bills. That pending bill should be, the committee should know, and they need to ask how much of that pending bill is with the government and other government institutions. Honorable Speaker, last year, 2024, not last year, but 2024, they made a profit of 234 before taxes. But, Honorable Speaker, on top of the profit they've made, they have got an arrears from KRA, payable to KRA, of 1.5 billion shillings, and this matter is before the court. And I wanted, if possible, the government would intervene. And we need to ask ourselves, we are building Bomas of Kenya today, which is has a capacity of about 11,000 capacity. So my question would be, if there is an institution with a 6,000 capacity and has not made profit for the last 15, 20 years, so what is the purpose of having a facility with 11,000 capacity, and while the one with 6,000 capacity is not working or making any profits, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, in 2015, there was a conference held at KICC, and it is evident that they lost 1.4 billion shillings on that conference itself. So I want to thank Senator Cherargei for bringing up this issue. And I wanted the committee, I urge the committee, please do a thorough investigation and ask yourselves, why are our institutions not making profits? I'll give you an example of KQ.
Senator Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to support two statements. The first one by the Senator of Nandi, of course, on the concerns of KICC. Honorable Speaker, just as Senator Chuti has said, KICC is an iconic feature in this republic. We must maintain it. We must maintain the standards, even though the government is doing outstanding work by the work that is being done at Bomas. And as a country, we must support the government, we must support the president in his vision in the construction of Bomas, because we need Bomas of Kenya, because it will accommodate all our functions, and knowing that Kenya is at a regional vantage point in this continent, we have a lot of functions that come here, and that is why we must support it. So KICC...
Senator Methu. Senator Methu, looking smart. Just take your seat.
Yeah. Senator Methu is smart, along with the other senators. Honorable Speaker, I remember when we were coming in for the first time, I saw Morango on yellow for the first time, and today is in green. We will go to other colors, and we will just keep on going. Honorable Speaker, I also want to support the statement by Senator Sifuna on the water shortage in Taita Taveta. And Honorable Speaker, the focus should be on the whole republic. Honorable Speaker, we should be reminded that 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the Ministry of Water gave a very expansive program that they had for the water sector. We'd want to know, other than Taita Taveta, what the ministry has so far done with the ponds that were proposed, with the dams that were proposed, Honorable Speaker, because we must have water in this country, and Kenyans deserve water as a basic right. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Senator Fernandez.
Speaker, thank you. Let me make the following. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Senator of Kisumu for bringing a statement on athletics development. Mr. Speaker, where I come, North Rift, especially Nandi, is where the legendary athletes have always come, especially Nandi and the entire of North Rift. I know in other areas, Mr. Speaker, there are many athletes, but I want to say, even, Mr. Speaker, to send my congratulations in terms of athletics development to the newly champions of Commonwealth Glasgow Games. Mr. Speaker, as Spain was celebrating their World Cup win, as Kenya, we celebrate the three gentlemen who won today in the morning at Glasgow 3,000 meters steeplechase. Number 1 was Edmond Serem, number 2, Simon Kiprop Koech, and number 3, Leonard Kipkemboi Bet, who did 1, 2, 3 podium sweep in the morning, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, it shows that as a country, we are resilient and focused. And Mr. Speaker, I want also to acknowledge that in terms of sports and athletics development, you have seen, Mr. Speaker, that Sebastian Sawe, world record, the only human being who has run under 2 hours, that is 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds on 26 April 2026 in London Marathon, one of the premier marathons, Mr. Speaker, because there are 5, his record has been ratified. to one of the best records that we have in the history that has run, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the statement that I wanted to add on Senator of Kisumu, we must also be alive that we still as a country to put more money in terms of sport development, especially athletics, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't find a reason why an athlete would win an award is being taxed in London and being taxed in Kenya. Why are we subjecting our sportsmen and women to double taxation, Mr. Speaker, which is retrogressive in terms of development, Mr. Speaker? So I want to appeal to KRA to give tax exemption to the athletes. Why are we giving tax exemptions to individuals who are doing tax evasion and tax cheating, yet we cannot give athletes, Mr. Speaker, who have run through sweat and toil and blood to win medals for this country and bring honor, Mr. Speaker? So, Mr. Speaker, I must call upon KRA to create exemptions, Mr. Speaker. Number two, Mr. Speaker, is to recognize, give them a
order, honorable senators. May the Senator for Nandi be heard in silence.
Mr. Speaker, be given awards. Why would we give somebody queuing for Kideri during an election, give them an award of recognition? Yet we cannot recognize athletes, sportsmen and women, Mr. Speaker. We must change. We are giving even awards politicians who have integrity issues. Yet we cannot give athletes, Mr. Speaker. We must speak to the conscience of this country that sportsmen and women should and must be honored and given opportunity, Mr. Speaker, even to address this house, Mr. Speaker. Let them have opportunity to come and address the houses so that we can honor them, Mr. Speaker, in this house. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I yield the mic and I thank you.
Senator Mudama.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kuchangia hii statement ya Cheregai ya KICC. Mr. Speaker, KICC ni jumba ambalo ni sura ya Kenya na ni jumba ambao imekuwa sura ya Kenya miaka nyingi sana, na kwa hivyo ni jumba ambalo linastahili kuchungwa kabisa na iendelee kutumika kwa ajili ya Kenya na iendelee kutumika kwa ajili ya maendeleo ambayo imekuwa ikilete kwa hili taifa la Kenya, na iangaliwe vizuri, iwekwe kwa standards zile inastahili kuwa, ili ikaweze kulete manufaa zaidi na zaidi katika taifa letu la Kenya. Ya pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kuchangia hii statement ya Senator Sifuna, party leader wa Linda Mwananchi. Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kuongea kuhusu maji ya Uzima Springs pale Taita Taveta, ambao ni maji mengi sana na yanasaidia sehemu nyingi sana, lakini ukienda Taita Taveta utapata hao watu hawasaidiki kabisa na yale maji. Kwa hivyo yale maji kwanza yangesambazwa huko Taita Taveta, ikawa kila eneo na kila boma iko na maji, ndio itoke huko iweze kufikia sehemu zile zingine zote. Na nikiongea hili ni kama Murang'a tu, ambapo kunatoka maji mengi sana yanaokuja hapa Nairobi, na hali watu wa Murang'a hawasaidiki. Na nikiongea haya pia nataja kuhusu stima ambao inatoka kule Masinga Dam, ambao inasaidia watu wa Nairobi wengi sana, na watu wetu pale Masinga hata boma nyingi hazina stima, maana hawawezi kujidumu kuweka ile stima. Ningeuliza serikali ione kama hiyo maji imesambaza kabisa, na hiyo stima pia ya Masinga isambaze kwa kila boma. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Mtinda.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to make quickly two comments for statements by Senior Counsel Tom Ojenda. First is on the issue of identification of talents, Mr. Speaker. I've looked at his statement. He's narrowed to the athletes. And he's put it correctly that when our young athletes really rise and become national stars, like what we saw recently with the under-17 starlets that just recently played in Morocco, There was, of course, maximum support by the government, but we have many other talented young people, young Kenyans who can be nurtured and be able to grow to become stars in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from where I sit, I'm very passionate with talent, Mr. Speaker. And as you can see through my pages, I really, really embrace and support young people with talent, because that is the way to go, Mr. Speaker. And so I really support Tom Ojienda when it comes to the issue of identifying and nurturing young talents. And I really want to add the Ministry of Sports, and especially the youth agenda, the youth department, to open up not only the athletes, but even young dancers, young singers, spoken words, all that aspects when it comes to
Senator Keroche and Senator Tom Ojienda, you may consult, yes, but keep it on a low tone. You may proceed, Senator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Senator Tom Ojienda, I'm trying to actually comment on your two statements. If you could give me an ear, then it would make sense why you submitted them. As I proceed very quickly, Mr. Speaker, also on the issue of registration for our Kenyans abroad, on the issue of the domestic workers, Mr. Speaker, I did put a bill in this House, which I really want to appreciate colleagues because they passed this bill, the Labor Migration Management Bill. It is currently in the National Assembly. I want to request the majority leader to ensure he speaks to his counterpart on the other side and pushes this bill for labor migration management. That bill is going to sort all the issues that Senator Ojienda has proposed in this statement. The way to go, the solution is the labor migration management bill. I have so many mothers, including Mama Bilal, who has come to me crying because his son was left in Saudi Arabia, Mr. Speaker, and it is sad. And so I want to urge our majority leader, Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, talk to your counterpart, Senator Ichung'wah, on the other side, so that this bill comes to conclusion, this bill gets assented. It is what is going to solve the issues that has been raised by Senator Tom Ojienda. With those many few, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Senator Sifuna.
Speaker, I'm one of the tenants at KICC, and I want to thank the Senator for Nandi for coming to our rescue, Honorable Speaker, by bringing the concerns around KICC to the floor of the House. Speaker, I think there is a problem somewhere. The management has really let that building go. There's hardly a week where you go there and the lift has not stopped working. If you come to the floor on which my building is, all the light bulbs, Honorable Speaker, for some reason, are broken and have not been replaced for quite some time. And we are hoping that the management can remember that this is a very, very premier destination in terms of tourism and conferencing, Honorable Speaker. I doubt that there is a building in this country that is more famous than the KICC. The surprising thing is, and I've raised this with the management, I'm sure they know, at least once a week, I see them replacing those water fountains. I thought that project for the water fountains was something that was supposed to be done once. I don't want them to behave like State House, where they are changing the roof every so often, Honorable Speaker. I want us to be able to find a lasting solution because it's a big attraction, Honorable Speaker. If you go there right now, all the school children are there, and they really enjoy those water fountains. We want to find what the problem really is, Honorable Speaker, because this is an institution or a venue that we are very proud of as the people of Nairobi and the people of the country. The most annoying thing for me, Honorable Speaker, is that, there is a picture of somebody smiling on that VIP lift. And because we only have one VIP lift, we all have to wait almost 5 minutes for the lift to go up and down. And we have to stare at that face laughing at us, Honorable Speaker. So we are hoping that they will move with speed to make sure that the problems that have been identified by Senator Cherargei, including the lifts and the lighting in the building, the water and so on and so forth, are resolved quickly for us to be able to continue to enjoy this facility. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Korir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance also to comment on the number of statements that has been raised by the honorable colleagues. And I will start with the statement that has been raised by Honorable Cherargei on the issue of the situation at the KICC. I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, we have a CS who has been appointed, that is James Mwaura, who is supposed to be checking on a number of issues that has been raised in this statement. And I want to say that KICC is one of the buildings that gives the face of this country, and the issues that has been raised are issues that are really wanting, and I want to say that I concur with the number of issues that has been raised, that they need to give us the challenges that they are facing, if it's the issues of financial, or what is the issue that is making them not to fumigate, not to clean, not to do the right thing to make sure that the building is giving us the right services. Remember, Honorable Speaker, this is one of the buildings that is also hosting a number of members of parliament, and I want to say that cleanliness, Honorable Speaker, is a must, and we must give the honorable members a conducive environment where they can do they construct thank you. They can transact the business of the electorates in a good environment. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, allow me also to touch on the statement that has been raised by Honorable Sifuna on the issue of water shortage in Tana River. Water shortage, Honorable Speaker, is an issue that is affecting the rest of the counties. This is one of the default functions, which I want also to believe that the senator from Tana River should also be looking into it, so that at least they can also be able to tell us the budget that has been made available for that particular county in terms of water, so that at least at the end of the day, despite the fact that we have also the national government which is supposed to address this issue, the county government should move with speed to make sure that they provide water to the residents, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is an issue also of, which has been raised by Honorable Agenda on the issue of talent. I also want to support, and I want to say that the only thing that can make our youth to be busy is when we promote them and support them in developing their talents, Honorable Speaker. This country is known for athletics, it's known for a number of talents, music industry, and a number of talents, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that the more we embrace, the more we give it a consideration, I know our youth will not will participate, and they will be able to smile, because at the end of the day, that is the strength of the nation. Otherwise, I beg to support. Thank you.
Senator Sotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the chance to also make a comment on the statements, particularly the statement by the Senator of Nairobi on the issue of shortage of water in Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, we visited Taita Taveta a few days ago, and this issue came up prominently. The lack of water in all the places in Taita Taveta, and I know that a lot needs to be done in terms of the water service provider, who in this case is Tavevo, and also the relationship between Tavevo and Coast Water. Mr. Speaker, I think one of the things that this House must deal with is to ask ourselves why we still have to maintain the so-called regional water bodies. We have, like in that region, we have Coast Water. What is their role? Given that water is a devolved function, I think some of the functions that are being done by Coast Water should ideally be done by the water service providers, because the existence of regional water bodies is in itself illegal and unconstitutional, because that relationship has raised a lot of concerns, even with the Auditor General, in terms of the services they provide to the WSPs in form of bulk water supply. So I hope the committee will look into that matter deeply and look at all the laws and the regulations around that. And I think it's also high time this House needs to review the Water Act, which in my view, it is unconstitutional because it seems to be taking back the water function to the national government through the so-called regional water bodies, whose role is basically to prepare proposals for donor funding, and then carry out mega projects, and then after that they hand over. In fact, they don't even properly hand over as per the Water Act. They just leave it there. If you go to most counties, you find the water projects are not fully utilized because of that limitation in handing over process as per Section 62 of the Water Act.
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, the Speaker. The Speaker, I want to comment on two statements. One from Senator Cherage and the other one from Senator Sifuna. On the statement concerning the KICC, Mr. Speaker, it needs to be noted by all Kenyans that, in fact, the KICC is one of the greatest symbols of our nation. It appears on our currency.
What did you
want? And Mr. Speaker, this is not a building that should be left to neglect the way it has been left. Mr. Speaker, what Cherage did not know, Senator, is that actually the designer of that building, one David Mutiso, the first Kenyan African registered architect in 1967, intended that the KICC was supposed to be actually housing the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya. And for him to have thought about that, then this is an iconic building, Mr. Speaker. The truth be told, this building needs to be taken better care of. It needs to be maintained better when people go there. And actually it is one of the highest or the most photographed buildings in Kenya. A lot of people take their photographs there. One of the tallest in East and Central Africa. It needs to be taken good care of. On the matter of the statement by Senator Sifuna on Mzima Springs, the Speaker, today we had opportunity to interrogate the governor of Murang'a. And this conversation about bulk water and water in counties, Mr. Speaker, we need to have a deeper conversation about this. Because, Mr. Speaker, there are people that are the custodians of the source of Mzima Springs. But they are suffering a lot more than the people who are taking water from the springs. In the same conversation in Murang'a, Mr. Speaker, the northern collector tunnel, which is collecting water and pouring into the Kaini for onward transmission to Nairobi, the people of Murang'a are not benefiting from that resource. Mr. Speaker, it is important that even as we challenge county governments to expand their revenue basis, their own source revenue, then we also make sure that they benefit financially from resources in their own jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, those remarks I support.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I also wish to comment on the statement request by Senator Cherage. Mr. Speaker, 1 week ago, there was some conversation that many people missed. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o and a team of thinkers were talking about a new national vision for Kenya. As you all know, Vision 2030 is at its sunset, and the verdict is out there whether we've been able to achieve even half of the targets that we had set in Vision 2030. Part of the target, Mr. Speaker, was to have Isiolo as a resort city. And we were thinking that being in the center of Kenya, we would build something similar to what the Egyptians did with Sharm el-Sheikh. Or we would do something similar to what the Azerbaijan people are doing with the White City in Baku. Mr. Speaker, we thought we would be able to do something like what Ethiopia is doing with the convention center that they have built that has earned them the right to host the COP32 in 2027. Mr. Speaker, there are so many examples, even the United Arab Emirates, for Dubai to become the great city that it is, it started with the World Trade Center. Mr. Speaker, KICC is part of Kenya's strategic part of that strategic advantage or comparative advantage we have as a country. But Nairobi is getting congested. So even if we are going to build Bomas, even if you are going to build other convention centers, the conversation that we should have, whether we are one-term or two-term, is what is a new vision for Kenya. And Mr. Speaker, we must ask ourselves, out of the successes or failures of Vision 2030, what is it that we can aspire to ensure that Kenya is not overtaken by Ethiopia, not overtaken by Kigali, not overtaken by neighbors because of a planning system that is messed up. Mr. Speaker, finally, as a country, we should not settle for too little. Nairobi is a great capital, is a great city. It is in the right location, but the standards in this city cannot take us to the next level that we want to be in the League of Nations. Mr. Speaker, I hope that that new vision for Kenya will also include a new vision for Nairobi, and that will come up with a vision that will be accepted. Whether you're wearing green, you're wearing orange, you're wearing yellow, that we can agree on the direction that Kenya should take in the year 2050. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyo. Senator Mazayo.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kuanza na taarifa ya Professor Ojenda, Senator Ojenda wa Kisumu, alafu nimalizie na hii ingine ambayo ni ya Senator Edwin Sifuna. Ya kwanza kuhusikana na taarifa hii ni kwamba ni jambo la kusikitisha, Bwana Spika, tukiona kwamba wale watu wanafanya kazi katika nchi zingine nje ya Kenya. Bwana Spika, ni watu wanapatana na masumbwi makubwa sana, hususan tukiangalia kama hawa dada zetu ama hata hawa ndugu zetu, either uende upate mtoto ukiwa mwanamume ama upate mtoto ukiwa mwanamke ukiwa nje. Bwana Spika, kumekuwa na shida sana, kwa sababu huyu mtoto kitu cha kwanza kujitambulisha kwa nchi zingine kwamba yeye ni mtu wa kutoka wapi. Ikiwa amezaliwa upande wa Saudi Arabia, yeye ni Mwafrika na hawezi kujiita yeye kwamba ni mtu wa Saudi Arabia, kwa sababu hakuna nafasi kama hizo ama sheria kama hizo katika ofisi zetu za ubalozi. Bwana Spika, mimi nataka kuunga mkono taarifa hii. Ni kwamba kunao muhimu kuona kwamba ofisi zetu za ubalozi zinakuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kutoa cheti cha mtoto akiwa amezaliwa na kuonyesha njia pale alipozaliwa, hata ikiwa anafanya kazi katika mission zetu zile ziko kule nje, waweze kujiregister na mama awe anaweza kuchagua pale yule mtoto anaweza kujiandikisha kama mwananchi. Ya pili, Bwana Spika, nataka kugusia hii ambayo imeletwa na Edwin Sifuna kuhusikana na hali ya maji, ukame wa maji ambao uko katika Taita Taveta. Lakini sasa kule ikiwa kuna mto ule wa Mzizima Spring, tunaona ya kwamba Mzizima Spring kwa miaka mingi imekuwa ikisaidia sana, hususan upande wa pwani. Lakini hivi karibuni tumeona ya kwamba kunakuwa na shida kwamba ule Mzizima Spring haitoshi, haiwezi kuwa peke yake. Hii pia vile vile tuko na upande wa Kilifi, kuna mahali kuna Marereni, kuna jicho la maji ambapo watu wanatakana kupata hayo maji, lakini hayo maji ni kidogo, hayatoshi. Bwana Spika, kunatakana kuwe na njia muafaka kuona ya kwamba makao kama haya ama makazi ya pwani kuanzia Mzizima Spring kuja mpaka Marereni, maji yawe yanaweza kusaidia wananchi kikamilifu kuona ya kwamba ukame huo umemalizika. Kunatakana kuwe na njia muafaka ambayo serikali inaweza kufanya.
Senator Mwaruma.
Asante mstahiki Spika kwa hii nafasi umenipa ili kuchangia taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator wa Nairobi, Senator Sifuna, kuhusu uhaba wa maji Taita Taveta. Mheshimiwa Spika, la kushangaza ni kwamba gatuzi la Taita Taveta halina uhaba wa maji kwa sababu kuna vyanzo vingi vikiwemo Mzima Spring, Njoro Spring, Lake Jipe, Lake Chala, Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini shida iliyoko ni kwamba maji hayajasambazwa yakafikia wale ambao wanahitajika kuwa na maji. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tungeomba ya kwamba swala la uhaba wa maji ama usambazaji wa maji litiliwe mkazo kabisa Mheshimiwa Spika. Wiki iliyopita tulikuwa na waziri wa maji Mheshimiwa Mhandisi Mugaa katika kamati ya mashamba inayoongozwa na Mwenye Haji Muhammad Faki, na akatupatia imani kidogo ama matumaini kidogo, kwa sababu alisema tukimaliza ile ama serikali ikimaliza Mwache damu, ile bao la Mwache litasambaza maji Mombasa na Kwale na kupatia fursa ile cubic mita 40,000 inayotoka Mzima Spring kutumika Taita Taveta, Mheshimiwa Spika, zaidi, kwa sababu ile Mwache damu itapatia Mombasa na Kwale maji. Mheshimiwa Spika, bawa Mzima 1 inatumika saizi Taita Taveta, Kwale na Kaloleni kule Kilifi na Mombasa, lakini yale maji yamekuwa machache kwa sababu lile bomba la Mzima limepasuka na limezeeka. Kwa hivyo yale maji mengi yanapotea kwa sababu lile bomba la maji limepasuka ama limekuwa mzee. Mheshimiwa Spika, swala lingine ambalo linaleta uhaba wa maji Taita Taveta ni kwamba lile bomba la Mzima 1 likipasuka, basi wale Coast Water wanachukua muda sana kulirekebisha. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunasema ya kwamba ni lazima Coast Water Services Board itilie maanani kurekebisha bomba la maji la Mzima linapopasuka. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia kuna deni kubwa sana ambalo Coast Water Services Board wanadai Tavevo, Mheshimiwa Spika, na ni kwa sababu ile kupotea maji yanapotea mengi sana, kwa ile kimombo tunaita non-revenue water. Mheshimiwa Spika, maji yanapotea kwa sababu ya wizi wa maji na kupasuka kwa bomba, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo ningependa kusema ya kwamba lazima Tavevo waangalie ili bomba linapopasuka walirekebishe kwa muda unaofaa.
Senator Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And as I comment on the statement, I've just witnessed the swearing in or taking of oath of the newest member of parliament. And we were at the National Assembly, and comparing how things are run there, I can say you are very sober, Speaker. Very, very. Mr. Speaker, I wish to support the statement, I think by Senator Ojenda, about the registration and access to citizenship documentation for children. Mr. Speaker, last year, I visited Saudi Arabia. And in the streets of Saudi Arabia, I found some Kenyan women with their children in the streets of Saudi Arabia, homeless, without anywhere to go. They cannot leave the country because they have no documentation or document for their children, and they cannot leave their children. So they choose to remain in the streets because nobody can employ them. And again, the embassy there was not helping then, Mr. Speaker. I wish the Kenyan embassies all over the country, all over the world, should have a dedicated desk for migrant workers, and especially women who get children out of wedlock. Because, Mr. Speaker, some of them get raped there, some of them get children and then their fathers disappear, and they have nowhere to go. And Mr. Speaker, I followed one particular case of one woman called Mama Dalia, and I'm happy to announce that we were able to bring her back home with her children. But the process of getting that certificate, Mr. Speaker, we had to wait for an officer from Kenya to go to Saudi Arabia, take the DNA, then come back to Kenya and give the results, Mr. Speaker. I think embassies should do something about that, and they have agreement with governments and hospitals there, so that those DNAs can be done in those countries without wasting people's time, and so that we can save these mothers, Mr. Speaker. So I think this is something that requires a lot of time and investment to help our mothers and to help the children who are mostly in the streets or probably are being trafficked elsewhere because Kenya cannot assist them, Mr. Speaker. I support the statement.
Senator Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity and just add my voice on the statement by the Senator of Nairobi, Senator Edwin Sifuna, on the perennial water shortage in Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, we have had the privilege as the committee that is in charge of public investments across our counties, and that is, Mr. Speaker, CIPIC, through the leadership of Senator Osotsi. And I want to say that perhaps categorically, the CIPIC committee should further interrogate on the documents that we recently looked at in terms of the water problems in Taita Taveta. And more broadly, Mr. Speaker, this water problems is happening because of Tavevo, as the Senator of Taita Taveta had actually rightly put. The non-revenue water at Tavevo, Mr. Speaker, is concerning. It's one of the hugest that we have had in the country. And there are claims of dilapidated pipes and collapsed infrastructure, but I don't believe so. I think the issue is the loss of commercial losses, where it happens because of poor billing and sometimes just lack of collection of debtors who owe Tavevo a lot of water bills. And Mr. Speaker, one of the other reasons that I've seen in Tavevo is the issue of the high cost of running the Tavevo water, where you find things like electricity bills, Mr. Speaker, are running huge. And sometimes the billing, even on coast water, is heaped on people like Tavevo. So, Mr. Speaker, this is something that I hope that CIPIC can look into. And to be particular, Mr. Speaker, it can also be a problem that needs to be looked holistically across our counties. Because, Mr. Speaker, I know very well that a place like Miwasco, the WSP in Migori County, is experiencing the same. We have had a big issue of water shortages in Migori, despite the fact that we have got a number of investors in the development world who have invested a lot in the water infrastructure in Migori County. Migori County experiences the same problem to the extent that we are seeing shortages in Migori town, where we've got huge populations, places like Oruba, places like Nyangubo, places like Onyalo. These places, Mr. Speaker, people are going without water, despite the fact that there is sober infrastructure, that sometimes you find that this issue of non-revenue water in Migori County also features. So, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to urge that even as we're looking at the issue of Taita Taveta, we might think as a Senate to look at this globally and deal with it also in counties like Migori County to make sure that the people of Migori County have water. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. The 15 minutes allocated to the comment session has long been expended, and therefore we will leave it at that. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, I will rearrange today's order paper. We will move to order number 22. Clerk, you may proceed to call that order.
Order number 22, provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate. Resumption of debate, question on amendment to be put.
Clerk, do we have the requisite quorum? Okay. So, Honorable Senators, I will proceed to put the question. That the motion be amended in the 5th paragraph by inserting the word environment after the words unaccounted for, and by deleting the words respective senator appearing in the last paragraph and substituting the words relevant oversight committees thereof. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. So the nays have it. So now, yes. Now, before Majority Leader, you take to the floor, it therefore means that we are going back to the original motion, and therefore any contribution will be based on the original motion before the amendments that have just been defeated. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I must thank Senator Andrew Okiya Omtata. Okoiti Omtata. I need to get his names correctly. You know, Mr. Speaker, we have quite a number of presidential candidates in the House, and we must learn to, in the Senate, and we must learn to pronounce their names correctly. Their chances notwithstanding, I must insist, Mr. Speaker. And this is such one good and noble, Mr. Speaker, proposal by our colleagues. Many times, Mr. Speaker, there are things that we propose in this House which are very difficult to implement because, unfortunately, they are not within our powers, Mr. Speaker, to either execute or force the agencies or demand of the agencies that are supposed to do it, Mr. Speaker, to actually move in the manner in which the House has directed. But fortunately for this one that Senator Omtata is speaking, this is a matter that is particularly well within our purview as the Senate. This is the House that interacts with the financial reports, Mr. Speaker, from both the Auditor General and reports also of the Controller of Budget, Mr. Speaker, up to and including reports from the Treasury, where the final and eventual accounts, Mr. Speaker, of what has been settled by the county governments can easily be availed to the House. Mr. Speaker, in the year 2016, and I don't know if Senator Boni Halwale still recalls, as members of Budget and Finance Committee, there is a practice which was introduced to the Senate, and that is of releasing statements, Mr. Speaker, to the individual senator on their exchequer releases by the National Treasury, whereby if you go to the pigeonhole, which I'm not sure if members still use their pigeonholes. You know, Mr. Speaker, in these days of technology, people have lost the beauty and the art of receiving letters and opening them. Everybody believes in reducing it to a WhatsApp message. But back in those days, you'd go to the pigeonhole there when you used to be in the Senate lounge just adjacent to this House, Mr. Speaker, and you'd pick the statement from the National Treasury or from the Controller of Budget of how funds have been disbursed to you. That culture has long since been lost. And second, and most importantly, which is why this motion, Mr. Speaker, is a tremendous improvement from that particular culture, is that this one is not just asking for the exchequer releases, but actually the IFMIS, Mr. Speaker, disbursements, and IFMIS report that details who has been paid, how much, what service was it for, so that as an area county senator, Mr. Speaker, you have the opportunity to look at it and say, Busia, in the month of June 2026, these are the funds that went to Busia. This is what it was meant for. This amount paid for salaries. This amount paid for contractors. And you have a rough idea of what those contractors did, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, earlier today, you will recall, members, we had a very interesting report that is coming up to be presented to the House in the next few days by the Parliamentary Budget Office on an assessment of performance of county governments on account of a few fiscal parameters. And they have done a tremendous job. Members of the Senate Business Committee were today taken through that particular report, and next week, Mr. Speaker, as per the guidance of the SPC, the entire House will actually be furnished with a report for the performance of your county governments for the last 2 financial years that have been concluded, 23-24 and 24-25. We have just concluded financial year 25-26. They will furnish us with the same, where you can see how your governor, for example, has handled the issue of pending bills, whether it is declining or increasing. What is the eventual amount of funds that has been spent under development spend, Mr. Speaker, how much has gone to personal emoluments, and all that used as parameters to measure performance of county governments. To me, that is an improvement from the very archaic reports that we get from newspapers, Mr. Speaker, where you're told, oh, Governor so-and-so is the best performing governor in Kenya, with no reference to whatever parameter, Mr. Speaker. At least next week, Mr. Speaker, the Senate of the Republic of Kenya will be doing something that hasn't been done before, which is to measure and release this particular report. Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid that I'm giving a communication which I know you will later be giving better, but there is a way I'll tie it to this report and why my mind went to it, Mr. Speaker. That this Senate, Mr. Speaker, will actually issue a report on performance of county governments that is scientific and led by actual reports from other agencies, not us as a house. It is what the Auditor Generals are saying. It is what the Controller of Budget is saying. It is what the National Treasury is saying about funds received by the various county governments. And therefore, nobody will accuse the Senate, Mr. Speaker, to say that you have favored this or that particular county government. Why am I speaking to that, Mr. Speaker? I was just tying it to the improvement that Senator Andrew Mtata wants us to have in the reporting structure of IFMIS reports that are sent to this House, Mr. Speaker, because when you receive a report on exchequer releases, it is just a block figure where you know that 200 million or 300 million is the amount that went to your particular county with no particular or specific focus, Mr. Speaker, to what it actually did in your particular county, Mr. Speaker. At least as an area senator that is diligent, Mr. Speaker, you will be keen enough to know that if you see a particular contractor being paid through your own networks, because then we have, Mr. Speaker, this particular current session of the House, we have resourced our members by at least ensuring on account of the County Oversight Fund, Mr. Speaker, that they have representative and a staff emolument, Mr. Speaker, that allows senators to have a good establishment that can keep track of county projects across the counties. And if you see a particular contractor, for example, has been paid, and you know this particular contractor was building a certain hospital, as a present senator, Mr. Speaker, through either you directly or through your officers, you are able to tell whether that contractor is on site or they longed about on site and they are now just pilfering public funds, Mr. Speaker. This is why this motion is exciting to me, Mr. Speaker, because upon the passage of this motion, it is within our powers as a House of Parliament to actually direct the Treasury and say the House has resolved by way of vote that from this particular month of July 2026, furnish the House with the IFMIS reports of the particular counties. And why I'm equally even further excited is that, to be honest, I didn't have an opportunity to listen to our colleague, Senator Wakwabubi, on why she wanted this report sent to individual, to committees of the House. Because I feel the original idea that Senator Mtata had of making sure that these reports are sent to the individual senator, Mr. Speaker, is much more accurate, Mr. Speaker, because when you receive the report of your particular county, the county that you represent in this House, you have in your mind the presence to understand the projects that are going on in your county, and you can appreciate whether your governor is doing the right thing, paying for projects that are ongoing, or they are doing what in common parlance across county governments, Mr. Speaker, has come to be commonly referred as paying for air, where you have contractors, Mr. Speaker, who, Mr. Speaker, have companies that are just readily available for pilfering funds. You will never see them doing any project in any part of the county, but if you go through the IFMIS reports, their payments are always regular, they are in huge figures, Mr. Speaker, and they are in duplicate of different companies named different names, but all belonging to the same clique of individuals. This is strengthening oversight. And Senator Mtata, when you do a good thing, you deserve to be told you have done well. This is one such moment, Mr. Speaker, where I want to urge each and every one of us colleagues that are in the House to take time, speak to this motion, add your voice to it, let us find time and resolve it, so that even before the new financial year begins in 2026, Mr. Speaker, because what normally happens, Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that is still the practice, because I remember from back in the day as a freshman in this House, Mr. Speaker, I once asked the clerk of the House, who fortunately still continues to serve, and very ably so,
and by coincidence happens to come from the same county with the owner of this motion, what happens with the resolutions of the House? And the clerk informed me that we bound them and sent them to the respective implementing agencies as the decisions of the House, together with the point items of that which they need to do. I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, that that still holds as a true position of how we transact our business. And at the passage of this motion, the CS for National Treasury, who IFMIS falls under, Mr. Speaker, will definitely just be directed to implement as guided. And if he has trouble implementing this particular resolution of the House, Mr. Speaker, there is no problem. We will summon him here. We'll come and explain to him why we need to receive those reports on a regular and accurate basis. This is the oversight that Kenyans dreamed about when they passed the 2010 Constitution, where they want a Senate, Mr. Speaker, that is properly updated. That we are not just politicians waiting for reports from the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker, 12 months after the crime has already happened. The original sin, Mr. Speaker, happens at the time of payment. That is a time that you can raise concern, including with your county assembly, and writing to them and saying, why do I see resources continuing to go to a particular project, yet you know, member of county assembly for a particular ward, that this project long stalled, Mr. Speaker, and money should not be going to that particular. It will also be important, Mr. Speaker, so that even when we receive these IFMIS reports, you can ask your governor, why out of 500 million shillings that you have received in a particular month, as a chief executive officer for your county, how do you feel that out of an exchequer release of 500, you've used 450 to pay for personnel emoluments, for example, Mr. Speaker? It could be this or the other, because one of the biggest challenges in that report that I referred to early, there is a county, you'll see the report next week, I don't want to preempt debate, Mr. Speaker, that is spending upwards of 60% of the resources, Mr. Speaker, that have been devolved to them, Mr. Speaker, to just pay for recurrent expenditure. Surely, how in the name of devolution is that being allowed to pass? Yet you know, under statutory considerations, Mr. Speaker, 35% is the maximum allowed ceiling under that particular vote. But we have allowed these things. In fact, Mr. Speaker, you know for a fact that if you go through the audit reports, I don't know if you do this, members, of almost more than 60 to 70% of our 47 counties, almost more than half of the resources that you're devolving to counties, that 400 and, I don't know, was it 420 or 425 billion that you're passing? More than 50% of it in 70% of the counties is just paying salaries. Meaning you cannot even refer to yourself as a governor. If you're a governor and you're spending more than 50% of the shareable revenue to pay salaries, then you should change the notice on your entrance to your office. Don't refer to yourself as a governor. Say you're entering the office of the paymaster, because that's all you're doing. You're just paying salaries, Mr. Speaker. There's nothing you're governing in that particular county, or the payroll master for that particular matter, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I am particularly excited about this consideration. And Mr. Speaker, there is somebody seeking to inform me. And
do you wish to be informed by Senator Kadri?
Yes, I don't mind, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed, Senator Kadri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Majority, for accepting information. The information should have come a little earlier. You wanted to know why Senator Wakwabubi was talking about the committee. I am the one who actually raised the point that Senate mandate under Article 96 of the Constitution contemplates collective responsibility. Therefore, it is okay for elected members to get reports, but how about the nominated members? We also play an oversight role. We would actually be able to inform you, I believe, Honorable Senator Cheruyot, looking at the report for Kericho, I will have the eye that will tell you what was done or done badly around gender, what was done or done badly around disability inclusion, what was done or done badly around youth inclusion. So that's why I felt the report should be sent to the Senate. Of course, they will reach the 47 as well as the others. Thank you.
Speaker, I hear Senator Catherine Muma, and that's very useful information, I must say, Senator Catherine. But nothing really stops our colleagues, the nominated senators, from accessing this particular report. It's only that we have said, send it to the individual senator, and as well acceptable or available, to all the other members of the various delegations, Mr. Speaker. Because I agree that as a nominated member of this House, you have a duty to equally oversight as much as those of us that come to this House by way of universal suffrage, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I don't think in the way that we have proposed, we disenfranchise you of that particular responsibility. The only problem is that the reverse, Mr. Speaker, actually makes it difficult for us, because we already have experience with Public Investments Committee, Public Accounts Committee, where the only interaction we get to have with audit reports from our counties, Mr. Speaker, is when we get that opportunity to appear before them when our county governments are invited. Therefore, I felt that the original idea that Senator Omtata had, where this is sent to you as an area senator, Mr. Speaker, is a better idea, and that will be available to all of us as colleagues. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate, this is good improvement. I must register, Senator Omtata, that this is a noble initiative, and I hope that the CS for Finance and those that are in charge of the IFMIS departments are ready with the reports, because I can see from the mood of the House, Mr. Speaker, that members are excited to see this. Separately, Mr. Speaker, and while risking to be relevant, and know that it's important to be relevant, I must celebrate something noble that happened this weekend. Did you notice, Mr. Speaker, that this weekend there were so many political activities, but there is absolutely none, at least none that caught my attention, that was infiltrated or, Mr. Speaker, interfered with by goons across the entire republic. That is the Kenya that we want, Mr. Speaker. I hope the owners of goons from whatever part of the country they come from, Mr. Speaker, can continue with that particular trend. I don't know whether it is because of the threat from the IG or whatever. Allow people to come and say whatever they want to say. The owners of the power, Mr. Speaker, who are the voters, Mr. Speaker, will have the eventual say in all these matters. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Very well, Senator Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start by congratulating the Senator for Busia, Senator Okiya Omtata, for coming up with this very important motion that we resolve that the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury shall be providing the clerk on monthly basis all IFMIS transaction and reports for each county government, and those reports will now be transmitted to the respective senators. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important motion in our oversight role as senators, and I'm very confident that it will improve our standing as senators in terms of our work. We'll be able to do our work in time, and basically it will also improve the audit process. Mr. Speaker, let me just discuss a few highlights. In the audit environment for counties, there are five common problems. The first one is the issue of pending bills. Pending bills is a problem in almost all our counties, because the process of prioritizing payments in the counties is determined according to the interest that county officials have, governor or the chief officers or others there. So you find that some payments are delayed, and some payments are even voided in IFMIS So the challenge of voiding payment, it's common, and that is what in most cases would lead to a lot of challenges, including generation of pending bills. So this particular motion, if implemented properly, will give us a chance to know which payments have not been prioritized and for what reason they have not been prioritized. So eventually, Mr. Speaker, we will, after some time, be able to deal with this challenge of pending bills that is common in all our counties. The other major problem that we experience in our counties is diversion of funds, where the counties make requests to the controller budget for some payments. Once the controller budget has approved the request, those requests are substituted with other payments which were not approved by the controller budget. And actually this also leads to pending bills. So the issue of diversion of funds, which is a crime, Mr. Speaker, will be able to be flagged out by senators, because we will be able to know which particular payments have been diverted and which ones have not been diverted. Then there is the issue of late disbursement of funds, which in most cases has been blamed on control of budget. But sometimes it is also largely to do with the treasury. So we will be able to know what is happening in IFMIS and know where the blame should lie. Then there is a challenge of non-remittance of statutory deductions, where counties make payments without paying taxes, without paying SACCO dues, without paying pension, and this has been a problem in most counties. We will be able to flag out all this. Mr. Speaker, so this motion is important. I want to support it. And most importantly, it will help us to stop being morticians, Mr. Speaker. You know, we are basically morticians. We wait for the Auditor General to do his report, and then now we come a year later. Now the system has improved because of Article 229, Mr. Speaker. But before that, we could even look at reports that were done 2-3 years ago. We will be able to do these things almost in real-time time. 1 month's period, we'll be able to discover if there is any major fraud in the offing or any major anomaly, and we'll be able to pick it up. So instead of waiting for the Auditor General to do her reports to us 1 or 2 years later, we'll be able to pick up in time and be able to act on it as soon as possible. But, Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, there are gaps in the audit process. If you look at the Auditor's General reports and the process, you realize that there are huge gaps. You know, the law does not allow the Auditor General to give us the draft management letters that they usually give at the point of exit meeting. But if you look at the draft management letters, it usually has many, many issues which don't end up in the main audit report that is published. Mr. Speaker, this process will allow us to be able to flag out some of those issues which don't eventually end up in the audit report that is published by the Auditor General. And therefore, that will help the Senate to enhance its oversight role, to enhance its governance issues on matters to do with funds in our counties. But, Mr. Speaker, even as we do that, even as we seek to get the reports on a monthly basis, I would like to advise that this process, let us see how it runs. But the most ideal thing is for the senators to be given read-only rights to IFMIS, so that we don't have to wait for 1 month, then we get reports. Sometimes those reports may be manipulated. Some important information may be omitted. So we come and look at it a month later. The most ideal thing would be we are given access to IFMIS, read-only access, and we are able to check for ourselves what is happening in as far as payment in our counties is concerned. That will help a great deal. Real-time access to IFMIS. But, Mr. Speaker, even with that IFMIS access, we'll still be incapacitated. Even with these reports that we are talking about, we'll still be incapacitated. I think the most ideal thing, and this is something that we have been crying for, we need IFMIS to be made an end-to-end solution, financial management solution. Right from the counties, where we have COB officials, then coming to COB, the approval process they undertake, and then coming to the payment at Treasury through IFMIS, and then eventually to Central Bank. The challenge of IFMIS is that IFMIS is not yet an end-to-end solution. So even if we were to compare the approvals that have been made by control of budget against what has been paid, we'll still have it a problem to us. Because now we are not able to see in real time what the control of budget has approved to be paid. So I think even as we support this motion, the most ideal thing would be, one, to be given real read-only access to IFMIS. Number two, to push so that we have an end-to-end IFMIS solution. That would help. Because I still see there will be a lot of back and forth in this process because of the manual aspect of these reports which be generated by the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, I have talked about Parliament being like a mortician. I think if we look at other jurisdictions, like in the UK, we must appreciate that the Auditor General has the constitutional right to do the audit process. But internally in Parliament, we need to have an internal audit unit so that some of these things are flagged out before, in real time, before the Auditor General comes up with a report a year later. And we are able to deal with the frauds that happen in our counties in record time. So I think that is something that the Parliamentary Service Commission has to think about. And it's not just Senate, even national government. Parliament has to have an internal audit function that can give us reports on our counties or public sector so that we are able to do our oversight in real time. Mr. Speaker, this recommendation will also help us deal with the gaps that we have in our oversight process and in our audit process. And Mr. Speaker, our county offices will function better than we are doing now, because even getting information from counties, Mr. Speaker, is a problem. The senator for Busia had a problem with the county government of Busia because he could not get documents that he wanted. And I'm sure the rest of us here have problems getting information from our own counties. So this is going to help. Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, now that we are talking about audit, I think the audit the framers of our law gave the responsibility on oversight committees to minority side. In the old system, we used to call it opposition side. Mr. Speaker, I think we need to relook at this. Because if you have decided to join the government, ideally you should not lead or participate in oversight committees. That is wrong. Because what are you oversighting? We need to rethink this thing. If you make a decision, even if you are on the minority side or on majority side, and you make a decision to be on the government side, then ideally it is not moral for you to chair or be the vice chair of an oversight committee like PIC or OPAC. I am just giving an advice because of what is happening in this house and even in the National Assembly. You cannot be, for example, the chairman of PAC in National Assembly oversighting the same government that you are supporting on a day-to-day basis. Then that is no oversight. So even as we do this, I know Senator Omutata is working on something on this. And this will help this country if we go that direction. But if we go in direction that people who are in government side can be the ones leading oversight committees, then we are not doing oversight, Mr. Speaker, because you know what it means if you are oversighting someone you are supporting. I think even as we do all these good improvements, that is one area that must be looked into carefully so that we can give confidence to the Kenyans and the public that indeed the houses of parliament are serving the people of Kenya in terms of oversight. I think this motion will help us a great deal. But then, as alluded by the majority leader, I think motions are passed by this House. But this motion, sometimes implementation becomes a problem. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I still support the idea of us having a committee on implementation so that some of these things, good things that we pass in this House are followed up in sufficient time by a specific committee to ensure that they are implemented. I fear that 60 days after we pass this motion, I fear that maybe Treasury may not
No, you should be very observant on the, and keen. Thirty seconds. Just put the full stop within 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon, I think, Finance Committee. Once this motion has been passed, please ensure that this motion is implemented within 60 days after the passage of this. Otherwise, we will not be doing justice to the member who has come up with this motion and many of us who are supporting this motion. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Tsalegai Samson.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion by the distinguished senator from Busia, Senator Okoiti Okia Omtata Andrew, who was a presidential candidate. I don't know whether he's still a presidential candidate. And somebody has alluded that we have a number of presidential candidates in this house. We have him, Nairobi senator. We have people who want to be governors, others cabinet secretaries. So this house is full of leadership. And we have former members of this House, Mr. Speaker, who have gone to high offices, including the current Deputy President. Professor Kithure Kindiki was sitting where you are sitting then in the last session. So it looks like your future is bright if you follow in those footsteps. So I want to congratulate my brother, Senator Okiya Omtata, who is always very level-headed, who is always out. And I remember the reason can be stem. I remember when Senator Omtata was attacked for demanding for this information, was very unfortunate by the goons allegedly sponsored by Busia Governor. And it's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, I saw he was never given a chance to address the installation and consecration of the ACK Diocese of Katakwa, new bishop. He was just acknowledged, Mr. Speaker, but I hope next time we will be allowed to say something as a presidential candidate. Mr. Speaker, this stems from the fact that access to information under Article 34 and 35, access to information and access to media is a basic right, Mr. Speaker. But you find most of our Kenyans, especially in most of our counties, they can't access even a budget, Mr. Speaker. They can't. They can't access even a CIDP, County Integrated Development Fund, the development program. They can't access annual development plan. They can access medium-term strategy paper that is processed by the county governments of either county executive or county assembly. Mr. Speaker, when you were in the last session, and I thought in 2016 you passed a bill called Access to Information Act. And I know then you serve at the lower house, the National Assembly, and you did process that act. But it looks like access to information held by state agencies is still a mirage, Mr. Speaker, which is very unfortunate. That we don't need to come and do a motion to do our job as envisaged in under Article 96 on oversight, Mr. Speaker. When I need, and by the way, I want to confess, whenever I need information from the county executive of Nandi, I have to use a lot of magic, including, Mr. Speaker, even sorcery-like tactics to access some of this information, Mr. Speaker. Because the governor there who runs the county wouldn't want anybody to know what he's doing, because he's conniving, perambulating, and calaventing into the access of the information, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I have said sorcery-like. I'm not saying like sorcery-like, Mr. Speaker.
Just a minute, there's a point of order from Senator Kavindu Mudhama.
Mr. Speaker, I want to hear from the Senator Cheregai what kind of sorcery he uses at this hour and era to bewitch. Are you a witch? Are you a wizard? So that you can use sorcery. Can you tell this house if you are a wizard that you use sorcery? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr.
Speaker, I don't think
make that necessary clarification?
Or is it clarification? Mr. Speaker, I said sorcery-like tactics, militant-like tactics. And you know, as the descendant of Koitalel Samoe, there is a way I can't express it. It comes out. Orgayot-like, orgayot, you can only express in my local language, just like you reject it, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the reason I'm arguing is that most of the, Mr. Speaker.
You do wish to be informed
by all
Senator
means.
Omtata?
Yes,
yes, we want to go into some history here. Yes. Senator Kavindu has used the word witch and wizard. Now, in English, there was a time when both words were bad. Yes. Today, a wizard is good, a witch remains bad. Yes. We had a master and a mistress. Yes. The master is good today, a mistress remains bad. So, when she was asking, I just want to clarify that these words, witch and wizard, are no longer at the same level. A wizard is now something positive. Yeah, the male side is positive. The master side, which is male, is positive, but the female side remains negative.
Mr. Speaker,
yes, just informing our brother.
Mr. Speaker, that is enough information. The direction he's taking will bring what we call quagmire. that might confuse, Mr. Speaker, more. But I want to say that access to information in our counties is still a mirage, and I think colleagues will. How many colleagues of ours can access budget, can access medium-term strategy, CIDP, annual development plans of our counties? It is hard, even in Meru. Mr. Speaker, I remember, and I want to strongly condemn the words of former impeached deputy president, where he was referring you as a corrupt. Mr. Speaker, we have never known you as a corrupt. That you participated in Livugirinturi, you are not a member of National Assembly, you are a member of the Senate. That you participated in removing Kawira, which is your constitutional right, that you removed him. Mr. Speaker, this era of tribal negative rhetoric must come to an end in this country, Mr. Speaker. And even going ahead and say we'll kill snake and the eggs, Mr. Speaker. Those are rhetorics that have challenged the NCIC to pick up immediately and investigate and ensure such people as former impeached deputy president must fail full force of the law. They are not above the law. No one is above the law, Mr. Speaker, and you must be respected. I even saw attacking even an Asian origin, Rahim Dawood, a member of Ocean that has been elected severally by people of Meru, that they should elect somebody who is a Meru. Mr. Speaker, what is incitement and hate speech more than that? And NCIC should look for information, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this country must be taught through the rule of law, Mr. Speaker. And I hope people like my brother Vihiga, Senator, should disassociate and distance themselves from such people who promote ethnic rhetoric in this country, Mr. Speaker, so that we can move out in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me get to the substratum and the flesh of the matter at hand, Mr. Speaker. So I want to thank Senator Okiya Omtatah.
What is out of order, Senator Sutsi?
Management and integration system.
Just a minute, Senator Chalgin.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on standing order number 105 on statement of fact. He has said that I associate with those kind of people he has talked about. Mr. Speaker, I want to be very clear that I, Godfrey Osotsi, I associate and proudly associate with the Linda Mwananchi movement. And Linda Mwananchi is a movement that is going to change this country for the better, under the leadership of His Excellency Edwin Watenya Sifuna, not the people that he's referring to. And I also want to tell you that I cannot associate
Senator
with the UDA in any manner, or the other UDA-B that belongs to the people who wear orange here.
Actually, what he said is you should desist. You should not associate yourself with such characters.
Mr. Speaker.
But you wanted to do a bit of some politics.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, you know when Senator Cherargei is speaking, he wanted to get the limelight. But I want to reply.
Let's get another point of order
as a UDA,
from the majority.
We don't want Ososi, even in the next life. We will never allow Ososi to join UDA. Even if he comes like an angel, I can confirm to the House that as
No.
member of UDA will
Senator Chalagay. Yes, majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, now this debate has been lost. I wanted to interrupt at the time where Senator Osotsi said, I can never associate with UDA. Yet I know, Mr. Speaker, that unless, Mr. Speaker, I don't recall well, in my life in this parliament, we have associated with Osotsi very well. I have, on many occasions, Mr. Speaker, taken him to meet very big people in UDA. We have done functions with him in Vihiga, with representation from the UDA party. Mr. Speaker, made donations there. Mr. Speaker, I have not said of now. He said, I can never. That means in the past, in the present, and in the future, Mr. Speaker. The future, nobody knows. The present is what we know. But at least I wanted to remind him that in the past, he has done it. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what he intends to do with.
No, honorable senators, you know, we are done with the happy hour. That is the statement time. So we are now on serious business, debating a very, very important motion by Honorable Okiya Omtatah. But now we are degenerating into another happy hour, which was closed by the former chair. So proceed and conclude. Your time is up, actually.
Chair, no, the time is still, I have time. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, information management system, and I want to say that, Mr. Speaker, my argument of IFMIS after 2016 OAG report, this IFMIS is an intentional fraud sponsored. Because IFMIS as a system allows what we call voiding of payments by counties. And this is where governors are stealing the money. Because this IFMIS, Mr. Speaker, it has what we call unexplained cancellation, control override, and ledger discrepancies. And this was captured by the OAG report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is also the issue of network architecture that has not been captured. Then there is lack of end user, where the Vihiga senator has alluded to, Mr. Speaker. So looking at this report, and colleagues should be aware that the reason, and you have to appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that there are many in the report of the OAG that IFMIS as a system has not assisted counties in transparency and accountability. And that is why when approvals and requisitions are made to the COB, the controller of budget does not have a view to the end user. And that is when voiding of payments happen, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we must ensure that even in this system, and Senator Omtata through the Speaker should be aware that there is also lack of integral service level agreement that was noted, inadequate backup policies, Mr. Speaker, and also security issues, including duplicate of users and password expiry, and lack of proper approval processes. Mr. Speaker, you have to note that this is one of the that was paid to the Oracle Egypt, a total of $705,600 in 2011-2012, and 2011-2012 $250,000. Mr. Speaker, the counties that continue to give voided payments, and this is, senators, you should be aware, this is where governors are stealing, is there were 14,000 in 2024-2025 approved payments amounting to 24 billion cleared by COB, but there was no valid documentation or justification, and these counties are 13. For example, Nyandarua Council unvoided 1.2 billion, followed by Samburu 1.6 billion, Kisumu 2.6 billion, Kajiado 2.2 billion, Busia 2.15 billion, where the governor was renovating a launch like ours there with more than 200 million. I think our launch was more cheaper. Bomet 1.27 billion, Mombasa 921 million, and Embu 313 million. All these colleagues were voided payments that cannot be accounted for. 24 billion, including Machakos, is here. Machakos, I can't get it because my time is fast spent, but I will share with my colleague. It is 24 billion, Mr. Speaker, that were voided. So it means 24 billion approved by COB but cannot be accounted for, which means they have been stolen, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, I agree that each and every senator, every endman, must be able to access their reports, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy that our students are here. This is a generation where it is digital. Literacy is the highest. But I saw an argument that as digital literacy and computers are used, the cognitive level comes down. But I'm happy they are here because they have here to learn. Mr. Speaker, allow me, with your indulgence, that at least 2 of my schools, Mr. Speaker, from Nandi County, that is Taito Senior School in Nandi Hills Sub-County or Nandi Hills Constituency, and Chemase Day and Boarding Junior School, have been able, I don't know whether they have been allowed or they are here, that have been, these 2 schools from Nandi County are part of the many learners who are sitting in your gallery, Mr. Speaker, and they are able to follow this conversation. That we want them to, this is an era of digital literacy. This is an era, Mr. Speaker, of opportunity where we are focused. And therefore, I want to wish Taito Senior School and Chemase Day and Boarding Junior School all the best, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, urge this distinguished senator that after resolution, Mr. Speaker, after the resolution of this House, we must ensure that we need an implementation committee. I think I rarely agree with the Vihiga senator. But on this one, on implementation committee, we must ensure that we have an implementation committee. Because we will pass. How will we know Senator Kavindu has received a report of infamous? How will we know Senator Crystal Asige, Senator Mwaruma, Mr. Speaker, who is our incoming chairperson of County Public Investment Committee of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, so that he can be able to ensure that Taita Taveta gets the FMI's report? How can we ensure that Kalwale, the bullfighter, who is fighting in Talanyi, has an opportunity to access and be able to oversight? Although I know he likes it oversighting in funeral services, how can he go to a funeral somewhere in Lukoyani and share the information about Kakamega County, Mr. Speaker? I agree, even in Bungoma, Mr. Speaker, where Senator Wakoli, who has been suffering in the hands of the governor severally, Mr. Speaker, but lucky he eats well. You know, I sat with Senator Wakoli over lunch, and he eats around 5 kilos of ugali, Mr. Speaker. So he can be able, Mr. Speaker. The only missing the legacy, Mr. Speaker, is Terere. He's telling me there should be Terere and Imondo. That is missing in the legacy, and I want to appeal to Parliamentary Service Commission. How can you consume 5 kilo worth of ugali without proper Terere and Ingogo, Mr. Speaker? But I want to appreciate that in future we might include Mursik as part of the legacy, Mr. Speaker. So in an upshot, I want to agree with this motion. Let us support, let each and every senator access the FMI's report so that we can do timely, Mr. Speaker, oversight, and ensure also we don't become morticians, Mr. Speaker. Because when you go to Meru and tell people financial year 2024, 2025, they might not understand, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because my time was spent, can you add me 1 minute so that I wrap up my thoughts?
No, since you ended time for Ingoho, ugali, 5 kilograms, and all those things, I think you are done with your
But, Mr. Speaker, you have consumed my 3 seconds. Mr.
Therefore,
Speaker,
now let
remarks,
us
I support this.
let us now listen to Senator Mwaruma.
Mike, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to have my input on this motion by the Senator for Busia, Senator Andrew Okia Omtata Okoiti MP, on the provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, the Senate is given the mandate to protect counties and their governments according to Article 96 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. Article 217, Mr. Speaker, of the same Constitution gives the Senate the mandate to oversight the funds that are dispersed to the counties, Mr. Speaker. I have to say that the primary oversight should be done by the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker. That is the primary oversight. Why? Because the county assemblies take part in doing the budgets, the projects and programs are done within the wards in the counties, Mr. Speaker. However, according to the ruling in the case of the Senate versus Council of Governors and 6 others, petition number 24 and 27 of 2019, that was consolidated in 2022, the Supreme Court affirmed the position of the Senate to oversight the counties for the funds appropriated nationally and locally generated revenue, Mr. Speaker. The people or the public expects the senators to do their oversight mandate. However, Mr. Speaker, this mandate cannot be carried out effectively if there is no adequate information and documentation, Mr. Speaker. And the thrust of this motion, Mr. Speaker, is the request that the IFMIS reports are provided to the senators. Mr. Speaker, this motion must be supported, and I do support, Mr. Speaker. Why? Because if there's a project or a program that is being implemented in the county and payments are made, we don't have access to information whether the projects and the programs that have been implemented or have been paid for have actually been implemented. Mr. Speaker, there are so many ghost projects that have been paid for, Mr. Speaker, in the counties. But as senators, we cannot ascertain whether that payment has been made. In my county, sometimes you have a hall that has been constructed. The bill of quantities requires that the hall is constructed and a toilet is constructed and water reservoir is also constructed. But you discover, Mr. Speaker, that the whole payment has been made, yet some of the components in the BQ have not been implemented. For example, full payment for a project overhaul maybe has been done, but there is no toilet that has been constructed, Mr. Speaker. So when we get this documentation, Mr. Speaker, it will allow the individual senators who are actually doing oversight across the counties using the Senate Oversight Fund to ascertain that whatever program of project has been paid for through IFMIS is actually in existence. Mr. Speaker, apart from the provision of the IFMIS reports, there are other very important documents that are required to be accessible to the senators. For example, budgets. More often than not, Mr. Speaker, senators are said not to be doing effective oversight because of lack of documentation. For example, when a budget is made, there are so many projects that appear in the initial budgets, which goes through public participation. But, Mr. Speaker, when a supplementary budget is done, which supplementary budget does not go through public participation, the public says that we had our projects in the budget, but they have not been implemented. The money has been stolen, but the senator is not saying anything. But the problem is the public is not aware that having done the initial budget, there are other supplementary budgets that have been done, and the unfortunate part is that these budgets are done without public participation, Mr. Speaker. So we need also a view of the budgets and all the other supplementary budgets, but that now that it is not in this motion, maybe other motions should be done to make sure that all the necessary documentation that is required to do proper and effective oversight for the senators are provided, Mr. Speaker. The other documents that would really be important is the requisition for monies from the controller of budget, Mr. Speaker. Because then even if you are given the report from the IFMIS report from the accounts, Mr. Speaker, again you do not know which projects and programs have been requisitioned for payment. So even if you have that IFMIS document, but you do not know what the county governments had requisitioned, then you do not have two documents to compare. Mr. Speaker, also it's important that also there's a way that the projects and programs that have been requisitioned for payment, that information is there so that together or side by side with the IFMIS report, we can be able to ascertain that why is this project was requisitioned for payment, but finally it has not been paid for. And the culprit that the Senator Cherargei was talking about is called voiding of payments, that the county government can request for payment of a particular program, and then they end up paying another program. The payment is voided, and that is the main culprit in the escalation of pending bills, Mr. Speaker. So I really want to request maybe, if it is possible, maybe through other motions or processes, that those reports, the requisition reports, can also be available, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during audits, according to Article 229, Mr. Speaker, there are also documents that would be important for senators to access, especially the management letter, Mr. Speaker. When the audit is done, or the initial audit is done by the external auditors from the Office of the Auditor General, at times they point to malfeasance in the counties. But then the problem is sometimes they are managed, and in the final certificate, the issues that were flagged by the auditor do not appear. Mr. Speaker, sometimes it would be important for the senators to access that initial report, the management letter or the draft reports, because Kenya being what it is, I want to believe that sometimes the management letter and is managed by the management, and the final report does not reflect the actual malfeasance in the counties, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, this is a very important motion that would ensure that our counties or the oversight role of the senators is enhanced, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that if finally we get these IFMIS reports, I would be able to assist our people who have not been paid, Mr. Speaker, or have not accessed their funds, but that money already was provided for payment, Mr. Speaker. So I would want to say that this is a very important motion that all of us, Mr. Speaker, should support. And we have noted in this motion that as a result of unchecked financial information and systems, county governments have continued to accumulate pending bills resulting from unplanned expenditures, unaccounted for, and inflated cost of projects, Mr. Speaker. So I would like to really end it here, Mr. Speaker, but really note that governments and senators must be provided with this information, Honorable Speaker. I would want to end it here and say that I support this motion.
Well, Senator Wakoli.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa mimi nidondoe hoja zangu kwa lugha ya Kiswahili kwa sababu Wakenya, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanaposikiza lugha hii ya Kiingereza hawaelewi kwamba ni mfumo ambao unahakikisha kwamba pesa zinalipwa na zinalipwa baada ya kufanya makadirio na serikali za kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono mapendekezo yaliyoletwa na Mheshimiwa kutoka gatuzi la Busia, seneta mwenzangu Mheshimiwa Okiya Omtata. Langu ni kwamba Mheshimiwa Spika, kule mashinani na jinsi tumezungumza katika kamati ya utekelezaji na kuratibu mipango ya Senate, ni kwamba yale ambayo tunaona kwenye magazeti na kwenye vitabu tunavyovibukua, Mheshimiwa Spika, vingine si haswa jinsi vinavyoonekana kwenye vitabu. Na ninaunga mkono kwa sababu iwapo tutaona jinsi fedha zilipotolewa na kulipa wanakandarasi na kulipa serikali ya kaunti na kuwalipa watendakazi ama wafanyakazi wa kaunti, itawezesha wao kuwajibika na sisi kuhakikisha kwamba kile tunachoona ni kile kilicho mashinani. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Mwaruma ametaja kwamba katika magatuzi yetu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba miradi ambayo ilianza mwaka 2014 mpaka sasa kuna miradi haijakamilika, na miradi hii iliratibiwa kwenye bajeti za kaunti, na kaunti haiwezi weka kwenye bajeti miradi ambayo haiwezi kukamilisha. Na tunafahamu fika kwamba mfumo huu wa IFMIS lazima walipokuwa naomba pesa za kulipa, kuna mtu lazima awajibike. So huu mfumo ambao Mheshimiwa Okiya anadai na anaomba kwamba tuweze kupata nakala, itatuwezesha na wale ambao wanafanya katika ofisi zetu katika kitengo cha kubukua, kuchunguza na kutia msasa, waweze vile vile kwenda mashinani, wadi kwa wadi, kijiji kwa kijiji, pale ambapo waliweka mipangilio hii, kuthibitisha kwamba mradi upo ama haupo, umetekelezwa vyema ama hapana, ama ni mradi gushi na pesa zimelipwa. Mapendekezo yetu, Mheshimiwa Spika, yataweza kuhakikisha baadhi ya kamati ambazo tunaongoza ama sisi ni wanachama kuzuru maeneo haya pia na kuthibitisha na kuandika mapendekezo ambayo hayatawezesha sisi kuwa kama wale ambao wanataka kufufua waliowafu. Mimi naomba wenzangu maseneta tuunge mkono pendekezo hili ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba ugatuzi unafanya kazi jinsi ilivyotakikana. Mheshimiwa Spika, wenzangu wametaja kwamba kuna baadhi ya wafanyakazi wale ambao wanafanya na Auditor General katika nchi ya Kenya, wanapozuru maeneo yetu na wanapoandika ripoti hizi, hata sisi tuna wafanyikazi katika ofisi zetu ambao wanapaswa kuenda sambamba na wafanyikazi hawa katika magatuzi, ili ripoti wanayoandika isiwe tu ya kisiri ambayo inabaki Nairobi, lakini pia wafanyikazi wetu waweze kutupa nakala hizi ili tuweze kuhakikisha kila mtu anawajibika. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona baadhi ya magavana wakidai kwamba kuna wafanyikazi gushi ambao wanalipwa ilhali hawapo. Lakini hakuna siku kiwauliza ni wafanyikazi wangapi unao katika serikali yako ambao ni madereva, ambao ni makatibu, ambao ni maseremala, hawezi kupa orodha, Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini iwapo mfumo huu utatuonyesha kwamba fedha fulani zililipwa kwenda kulipa marupurupu ya wafanyikazi, itakuwa rahisi kufuatilia na kujua ni wafanyikazi wapi, katika sekta ipi, katika idara ipi, na iwapo kuna wafanyikazi gushi, itakuwa rahisi sisi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kufuata na kupata ukweli. Mheshimiwa Spika, kule mashinani kuna ulaghai ambao unaendelea katika kaunti zetu ama katika magatuzi yetu. Kuna miradi ambayo ni mradi mmoja lakini unalipwa mara mbili. Kwa mfano, wanasema kwamba barabara ya kutoka Nairobi kwenda Bungoma imewekwa bilioni 3. Na baada ya muda mchache wanasema barabara kutoka Bungoma kuja Nairobi wameweka bilioni 2. Na wanatumia mfumo ambao Wakenya wengi hawaelewi. Sasa mtu mmoja analipwa mara mbili kwa gari ama kwa barabara moja. Iwapo tutapata mfumo wa IFMIS, tutaweza kuthibitisha mradi ambao unasemekana umetekelezwa katika wadi fulani. Na iwapo imeonekana kila mwaka barabara hiyo hiyo inatengezwa hata kama haina kasoro, lakini utaona wanapita na matingatinga, alafu kabla wamalize pesa zimelipwa. Huu mfumo wa IFMIS utaweza kusaidia wale ambao wanadai serikali za county fedha kwa kazi walizofanya na ilhali county haiwalipi. So mimi kwa niaba ya watu wa Bungoma na Wakenya wote naunga mkono pendekezo hili, ili ninapozuru maeneo yenu nitakuwa na kile nitakachokuwa na rejelea, na iwapo nitampata yeyote ameweka mkono ama kidole kwenye kikombe cha halua cha kifedha cha watu wa Bungoma, lazima kamatwe, awajibike, na iwapo atapatikana na hatia awekwe korokoroni, Mheshimiwa Spika, ale maharagwe na chai ya mkandaa. Nashukuru. Tutanyakua mali aliyochota, lakini abaki kule akisaga meno. Nashukuru Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Kavindu Mudhama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to congratulate Senator Omtata for this very important motion about the IFMIS records being brought to the senators. Mr. Speaker, we are really having big issues at the counties as elected senators because, Mr. Speaker, we depend on Auditor General's reports and control our budget to be able to pick what has not been done right or wrong at the counties. And Mr. Speaker, if we get this IFMIS report every month, as the motion has requested, it will be very easy for us to pick on the issues at the counties and follow up the issues and at least prevent a lot of damages being done to the counties. Mr. Speaker, when you go to many of the counties, you find a lot of stored projects, starting with Machakos County. A lot of stored projects from 2013 to date, which has not been completed, and those are taxpayers' monies that are lying there with at the stored projects. Mr. Speaker, the same with the pending bills. You'll find that we have a lot of pending bills in all the counties, not only in Machakos, but in Machakos we have pending bills of more than 5.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, this pending bills originates from the first governor of Machakos. He left pending bills of more than 3 billion. And right now we have also increased with the current governor. Mr. Speaker, with this IFMIS report on monthly basis, we'll be able to follow up what projects has been given to who and how many projects has been paid, because there's a tendency of giving people tenders and then they pay with the same money others who have not given. And that is why we have a lot of pending bills in the counties. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this report will really help us do our oversight according to Article 96. And then you'll find the governors go do public participation. And the people at the ward level, give them the projects that they want done in their wards. But the next time they go, they will be given the same projects. So you wonder, what is the meaning of the public participation? If you will go do public participation, the ward people tell you what they need in their ward, and then you don't implement it, and you go back again asking them the same questions, and they give you the same projects, and yet monies are being used. We are fighting for devolution. We are releasing a lot of monies to the counties, and we are not seeing what this money is doing. So, Mr. Speaker, I really support this motion, and I request every senator to support this motion so that we can know as early as every month what is happening with the money that we take to the counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Good. Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to support this motion by the senator from Busia County, Senator Okia. Mr. Speaker, this motion really, first of all, it really helps us as the Committee of Finance and Budget. Our mandate is very vast. We have the responsibility on matters finance, and especially on pending bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our committee where I serve interacts very highly with the Minister for Finance, Auditor General, Controller of Budget, and all these different stakeholders, Mr. Speaker. The motion that has been presented by Senator Kio, which I highly support, Mr. Speaker, is really going to help us as a House from a bigger perspective, because normally what happens in the different committees, when a matter is brought up and delegated to a specific committee, a report is finally tabled depending on how the committee did its findings. But you realize, Mr. Speaker, as much as the committee has tabled that particular report, at times few members really are keen to get to know what is this report about, what did the committee conclude. But with a proposal by the senator indicating that each and every senator, and that is a total of 67 senators in the Republic of Kenya, to be able to be provided with the IFMIS reports, Mr. Speaker, it is going to maximally help in achieving the oversight responsibilities that is vested in each and every senator of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this issue of, or this proposal by the senator ensuring that these reports are accessible, it's not about any political issues or wrangles in place, because I've seen a lot of governors whereby when their respective elected senator brings up an issue, it's always looked at as political. They forget that one of our key roles is oversight, and it is the responsibility of that particular senator to be able to ensure that they do their oversight role.
But when that happens, you find that issues arise. But when these reports will be fully accessible, everyone or every senator will be able to see the reports of even other counties. They can be able to reference with other counties. I'll give an example. When we went to the county of Vihiga to do the oversight as finance committee on the monies for FLOCA, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what we found in Vihiga County was progress. Good job that has been done as far as the FLOCA funds were concerned. But the neighboring county, that is the county of Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, a county that is led and its leadership is by professors, Mr. Speaker, it was a shock. It looked like people in a different, completely different worlds, Mr. Speaker, as far as these funds were concerned. So when these reports will be tabled and accessed fully by all the senators, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to reference the same way I'm referencing between Vihiga County and Kisumu County, Mr. Speaker. Access to the IFMIS reports, Mr. Speaker, will ensure maximum accountability, transparency and effective oversight by all senators, Mr. Speaker, because we will be dealing with factual data. The issues where we'll be seeing even some Kenyans coming out, criticizing that particular funds have been allocated to a specific project. Some of those allegations have been untrue, some have been true, but the reports have not really been what should be, Mr. Speaker. But with the access of this information, Mr. Speaker, it will also be able to help the senators speak out to what has been allocated to Project A or Project B. And that will be able to help the citizens whom we represent to be able to share correct information as far as the funds are concerned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the motion talks about monthly reporting through the clerk of the Senate, Mr. Speaker. Monthly reporting of these reports will ensure timely financial information to all the senators. And this will help us be able to bring out the facts for each and every county, Mr. Speaker. The issue of the pending bill, Mr. Speaker, is an issue that is across all counties, Mr. Speaker. With this particular information on table, we will be able to embark fully on what is the issue. Have the suppliers who were in the system previously been paid? What does the report say? Were their companies listed for payment? If not, what happened, what transpired? There will be specific questions to specific answers to specific questions, Mr. Speaker. How resources have also been utilized, Mr. Speaker, by the different counties. These reports will be able to highlight how these budgets have been put in place. And I give an example, like today we had the county of Tana River visiting our committee or attending to the invite that we had done. And when we are looking at the issues of the county headquarters, Mr. Speaker, Tana River being one of them that benefited among the 5 counties, Mr. Speaker, you realize, Mr. Speaker, there was a 385 million that the county assembly had put aside for construction. And all that they need to put aside, Mr. Speaker, is funds or monies for recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker. So these are some of the things that, without that knowledge, then the senator of Tana River will not be aware that 385 billion has been set aside and approved by the county assembly of Tana River to be able to do construction, which is not their mandate, Mr. Speaker. There will be definitely there'll be identification of any irregularities and delays that has been in place within these counties as far as projects are concerned, Mr. Speaker. Then, Mr. Speaker, we have other stakeholders that when the committees or even a particular senator looks at the reports, they'll be now in a better position to see what to recommend to the different stakeholders. Case example, the EACC, the Office of the ODP, and action is taken because sometimes Kenyans do ask us, when you realize that this happened, what did you do? Mr. Speaker, our mandate allows us to do what we call recommendation to the other authorities who have the powers to be able to prosecute the matters that have been identified, Mr. Speaker. And so what I'll be able to conclude and say is that let all the offices provided by the Senate clerk, all the 67 offices, be able to access and have all these reports produced or tabled to all the senators, so that collectively we can be able to ensure that all these budgets, the audit reports are accessible, and at the same time we are able to look at them deeply. I've had an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, when I was served in the county Investments Committee, we were able to grill governors and matters audit. The other committee that I serve as the vice chair, I have an opportunity. But you can imagine when that cuts across to all the other 66 senators, then it becomes a plus to each and every senator to be able to ensure that oversight is fair. So that, Speaker, because you come from the county of Meru, when you arise and speak on a matter that affects the great county of Meru, Mr. Speaker, it will not just be your matter. We will have access and we will have looked at what are these issues that have been, the senator of that particular county has raised and how should they be addressed for the benefit, because we represent the Republic of Kenya. The only difference is that we come from specific counties, but the representation is for the Republic of Kenya. So with those and many few, I really do support this motion, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni Korale Daktari.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. Mr. Speaker, I also rise not only to support this very important motion, but also to congratulate the Senator of Busia for this forward thinking. But before I do so, Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the people of Trans Nzoia County and Bungoma County for the warm reception that they gave us over the weekend when we visited them to talk about matters of oversight and management of state resources. This was during the Linda Mwananchi rallies, Mr. Speaker. My first point, Mr. Speaker, is that Kenyans listening to us, some of them don't know what we are talking about. We are saying IFMIS. They're wondering what this animal called IFMIS that is being talked about in Parliament. Allow me, therefore, Mr. Speaker, to very briefly tell them that what IFMIS means is a real-time monitoring of income collection and the expenditure that is done in real-time basis, so that the capacity of Parliament to oversight, Mr. Speaker, can be enhanced. It means in full integrated finance management system. It's a pity that internationally, IFMIS is supposed to capture both income and expenditure. But Mr. Speaker, unfortunately in this country, we are more keen on knowing the expenditure without capturing and recording the income, Mr. Speaker. So what does this bill intend to achieve? We want, using this law, Mr. Speaker, to make oversight that is better than what we are doing currently, because when you wait for the report of the Auditor General, some of those reports come 3 years late, 2 years late. But with IFMIS, we will have real-time monitoring and therefore oversight. What is more is that when you are not waiting for 3 years before you make a pronouncement as Parliament, or you make intervention as the area senator, as the county senator, or the area member of Parliament, then both income and expenditure in the county treasury is not transparent. Mr. Speaker, I therefore allowed the senator, because at the end of the day, IFMIS unifies budgeting with, Mr. Speaker, treasury operations, and finally with revenue management. Once you have this, Mr. Speaker, it then makes it easy for you to be a better oversighting chief over the financial transactions that are taking place within the county treasury. I'm glad that I'm speaking on this matter after my sister has returned to the house. My younger sister, Catherine Momo, I'm happy that you owned up, that your advice was sought by nominated Senator Catherine when she was attempting to amend this motion. Allow me to allay your fears. I could hear from your intervention that your fears are that if the reports go to the elected senators, then the nominated senators will not enjoy full access. Maybe. But there are two avenues that the Constitution allows you. And I don't know, because I'm not addressing you, I'm addressing the country. Let me refer you to Article 35 of the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, quote unquote, Article 35 of the Constitution of Kenya states as follows: that every citizen has the right to access information held by the state, and that information held by another person and required for the exercise or protection of any right or fundamental freedom. And two, every person has the right to the correction or deletion of untrue, misleading information that affects that person. And finally, that the state shall publish and publicize any important information affecting the nation. So, Senator Catherine Muma, the fact that this information has been channeled to the Senator of Kakamega.
Senator Boni, why are you referring to Senator Muma?
I had explained, probably your mind was not connected. I'm referring to her because she owned the intellectual property about the amendment that was made by nominated Senator Wakwabobi. So I was just responding to the remarks she made at that time because it's during debate. So my sister Catherine Muma, you can see that the information that will come to me through this effort by the motion, Article 35 still allows you either to come to me directly or to go to the county government or the county treasury and access the same information. It takes nothing away from you. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yeah, are you interested in being informed?
Oh, certainly. I would not refuse to be informed by Sister Catherine.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for allowing me to inform Senator Khalwale. I wish to inform Senator Khalwale that my intervention was not about individual senators looking for information. My intervention was about the oversight role of the Senate. And Honorable Speaker, I'd like to refer the Honorable Senator to Article 96, which talks about the Senate. It gives functions to the Senate and then proceeds in 98 to define who the Senate is. So my point was that Senator Omtata has moved an excellent motion for greater transparency in providing information around the IFMIS, and he indicated in the motion it is for purposes of oversight. My reminder was that that oversight is a collective role of all the senators. So if the motion is indicating that the information only goes to 47, then it actually locks out a portion of the Senate as defined in the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy to be...
Karwale, just a minute. Just a minute. I give some guidance. Honorable Senators, you know we resolved in this House on the 11th of February. This motion that we have is time-bound for 3 hours. And the motion, according to its timing, should end at 17:31 hours. But then I can't see the mover here because he should get his 15 minutes to reply. So I want you to spend 2-3 minutes to clear, then I'll give an opportunity to the 2 senators queuing here, at least to take 5 minutes each, and then we conclude this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand guided, but I also know that your direction does not take away my right under rules of debate to debate full time.
For
But
15
because of
minutes.
your respect.
For 15 minutes.
Yes, because of your respect, Mr. Speaker, I stand
Actually,
guided.
you are now at the 70th minute.
I have?
7.
7 minutes. I'll squeeze through. I compress within a short time. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the intervention by Senator Catherine, and I'm so informed. We will do further discussion about it behind the tent. Finally, Mr. Speaker, going to specific projects in counties. This thing is God-sent. You go to a county like Kakamega, we have hundreds of million shillings that were released by the county assembly so that the governor of Kakamega could pay for the road from Lumakanda to Pan Paper. The money has been released. It has been voided. The contractor has not been paid. He has left site after doing only a small distance of 2.5 something kilometers to the gate of the deputy governor. Similarly, the road from Bulimbo, Harambe, to go all the way across to Kaunga. Again, money has been released in hundreds of millions. The contractor has not been paid. He has left the site, Mr. Speaker, and only 3 kilometers have been done to the gate of the governor. If we had this kind of facility, I would not be leaving it to MCS alone. I would not be waiting for 3 years after the Auditor General has prepared. I would intervene early so that this wastage, not only of time, but denying people an opportunity to access services, both through the contractor who was not paid and the public not making use of the intended project, would have, Mr. Speaker, been avoided. Mr. Speaker, the people of Kakamega should know that this motion will help me to push their governor so that currently the road for which over 400 million shillings was released from Mumiasi town in a place called Muiboma, all the way up to Matawa, that was intended to go up to Indangalasia, I would have tracked it. But the governor of Kakamega, instead, he voids this money. We are afraid, Mr. Speaker, that this money is what we see in the so-called empowerment rallies, where millions of shillings are being wasted to meaningless programs that do not match the budget of the County Assembly of Kakamega, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, but not least, I want to thank Senator Catherine. You have no idea how an elder brother gets proud of a younger sister when the effort starts showing. This is the way to go. There are a lot of people in Nairobi who have come to do parliamentary work, but instead who have become businessmen, joining others to steal from public coffers. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sige.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, Senator Okia Omtata is one of the most dedicated members of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee of the Senate, which I chair, and I must appreciate him for the good work that he's doing in that committee. Besides that, Mr. Speaker, the motion that Senator Okia Omtata has filed before this House and which we are currently debating is a timely motion. Mr. Speaker, being a public interest litigator and, of course, by extension, a supporter, a great supporter for that matter of devolution, Senator Omtata has done more than what all of us would have done in bringing this particular motion. And, Mr. Speaker, the reason is what everyone has said. We are expected to strengthen devolution. We are expected to support our county governments. And we are expected to ensure that governance of all our county governments and the resources that we distribute from this House and allocate to our respective counties are utilized for the purpose that they are supposed to. But, Mr. Speaker, of course, without data, without information, and without statistics on how that resource is being utilized, we find that most of our county governments, Mr. Speaker, have abused and corrupted the resources which were meant to do certain public projects, serve the people, and improve the livelihoods as it was envisaged by the drafters of the Constitution that introduced devolution. And so I want to appreciate Senator Omtata for this timely motion, and also for extending the motion to make reference to the litigation and the pronouncements that the various courts and matters which he has prosecuted before courts have pronounced themselves in protecting devolution. Mr. Speaker, one of the main reasons why we allowed such motions is because it enables the House and the public in general to appreciate what IFMIS was aimed at when it was first introduced. And, Mr. Speaker, during the first tenure of the first county governments in 2013, when IFMIS was rolled out immediately upon that devolution for 7 counties being established, the aim was that in the presence and the proper use of the systems that are in place, we will be able to serve the public in the best manner that was expected of them. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the delays in access of information, the inability of quite a number of all or almost all the county governments to utilize this particular system in their financial management, and also, of course, coupled with the fact that there is intentional desire by those who are running our county governments to abuse and corrupt resources, has led to the concerns that we are talking about, delays in getting information from the Office of the Auditor General or from the Controller of Budget that would help those who are supposed to protect devolution, conduct oversight, from doing it in real time. Mr. Speaker, I recall that Senator Kajwang's committee from last year and the previous year had to burn the midnight oil to make sure that they ran through information and reports that were availed from the relevant committees of the county governments because of a pronouncement that came from the court. And of course, unknown to quite a number of us, most, if not all the county governments had not implemented or made corrections to the recommendations of both the committees of this House as well as the Office of the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget. And therefore, the absence of real-time information by senators is very, very critical to their role as oversight to the county governments. And if and when this motion, which I want to support and ask members to support, is implemented, senators will be able to get that report in real time on a monthly basis, and it will therefore be an opportunity for them to speak to the areas where resources from county governments have not been properly utilized. Because when we talk about accumulated pending bills don't accumulate not because of anything. It is because of the non-compliance by those who are running county governments, from the office of the governor all the way to the CMCs relevant in the department to comply with the law. This is one of the reasons why this motion, is important, because it will guide them. It will help them to know that I already have the information which it's been availed to me by the Office of the National Treasury, and therefore I'm able to follow through. When we talk about IFMIS generally, IFMIS was aimed at making sure that whatever budget that is being done, whether at the national or county level, complies with the relevant regulations and timelines. The procurement itself was expected to ensure that it sticks to the approved budget. One of the reasons why we have pending bills is because county governments do not stick to the approved budget. They issue LPOs even where they know they don't have resources, and they do not expect, of course, to pay. And ultimately, the payment methods and processes are skewed to certain personnel who are either friends, relatives, or those who are ready and willing to give back a kickback to those who are making the payments. That one is one of the things that this particular motion, when approved and implemented, will help to bring down such shortcomings in management of county resources as well as national resources. And therefore, when you talk about projects which are normally funded for every financial year without them being completed, it is because there is no compliance with the requirements and the regulations under IFMIS. And therefore, I hope that all the members of this House rally behind this particular motion, support this motion, and thereafter follow through to ensure that whatever recommendations that we make is implemented by the Treasury, so that at the end of every month we are able to get these reports, so that we avoid incidences of what we normally refer to as voiding of payments by the county governments, delayed payments for reasons that are best known by the county governments, and of course completion of projects, because when it's already budgeted for, it's procured, and I am able to get an annual, or rather a monthly IFMIS report, I am able to directly speak to the people of Bomet, tell them about the resources which have been budgeted for roads, which have been budgeted to completion of the house of the governor that has already been, it's gone beyond the budget from when it started in 2013. There has always been an annual budgetary allocation. That project never ends. By getting a monthly report from Treasury, Mr. Speaker, I will be able to speak to the people, tell them that last year this was budgeted for, this money has been paid, and the project is still pending. Senator Okiya Omtata has done a great thing, and I want to appreciate you. I want to support this motion and ask all the members to support it, because it is important in supporting devolution. To the question about whether or not this particular motion can be amended to ensure that the report goes to all the members of the Senate, I want to agree with Senator Muma in the context of devolution is in the context of Kenya, 47 counties make reference to 47 counties. But otherwise, protecting devolution and conducting oversight is a shared role by all the members. This report, therefore, should not only be submitted to the delegations of the 47 counties, but to all the members of the Senate whose business is to protect devolution. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Senator Sigei. The move of the motion, your time, the motion was to go up to 17.1 hours. And so, at my own discretion, I want to give Senator Medu 5 minutes. You consolidate your thoughts on this within those 5 minutes, and then the move will reply. Now, with your 15 minutes, you can see how to donate your time or how to spend your 15 minutes to reply. Senator Medu.
I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'll actually really try to condense my thoughts within the 5 minutes. You know, today I'm very happy, and I'm sure you know why. The people of Nyandarua and the people of Olkalau have now finally gotten a new member of parliament, the Honorable Sami Douglas Kamau Aweru, whom I have the honor of congratulating on the floor of this House, because he's a member of parliament that will be serving with me. And also, having also been elected on the party that I serve as the designated Secretary General, I am very, very happy. I congratulate Sami Douglas Kamau Aweru on his very momentous win. Mr. Speaker, number two, and finally, you know, I also was at the National Assembly, and I think they do things differently there. We have a very warm way of welcoming visitors here. But when we went to the National Assembly, we were not accorded the same welcome. In fact, the speaker who was there said that he's not even aware, and he has never seen us. I'm very surprised that he's a former senator here, and he couldn't recognize senators, Mr. Speaker. We were just chased away, but we are happy. to be back here. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is something that I admire of Senator Andrew Okia Omtata, and one more Senator, Danson Mungatana. Well, all of us have been elected to come to the Senate, and we work very hard to come to the Senate and to come to houses of parliament. As you can see, we are now very few on this house, whereas when there is campaign time, we really put a lot of effort to come to the Senate. But when we come here, we also find very little time to come here. I think Senator Cherargei is also in that category of the senators who spend a lot of time in this house, and something that is very commendable. Senator Umtata is always here at 2:30, and he leaves the chambers at 6:30. That is something that is very, very, very commendable. And that is why he is able to put his mind and apply his mind on such a brilliant motion. I have served before I was de-whipped for making very certain decisions, Mr. Speaker. I served as a member of the Public Accounts Committee. And I think one challenge that we faced, and I see some members who have survived still because they are still in the thin line. I was with Senator Umtata, by the way. I was serving with him as in the Public Accounts Committee. We were de-whipped together. I don't know what mistake he made. At least me, I know I stood with Rigathi Gachagua. I don't know what mistake he made to be de-whipped. But I think he also voted with us. I think that is a problem. That's why he was not de-whipped. He was also de-whipped. One thing that we kept facing, and one challenge that we have always constantly faced as we try to implement our mandate in regards to Article 96 of the Constitution of Kenya, is the fact that reports of the Auditor General actually come, I think, 3 years after the actual expenditure, Mr. Speaker. That is why you find that governors who have already left office have still so many pending questions that are appearing on audit reports that I think this is the first year or the second year that governors who have sat for, or who have sat for actually 4 years, are now answering their own questions. They kept coming to our committees, and when you ask them, explain this expenditure, they say, it is not me, it is my predecessor. You ask them this question, it is not me, it is my predecessor. Now these governors who are serving, they will leave office, the ones that will leave after this time, Mr. Speaker, and 2 years of their expenditure will be outstanding. So the governors who come after them, they will say that, oh, it's not my expenditure. That is why, Madam Mr. Speaker, I think it is very fair that we get monthly reports from the Integrated Financial Management System. And there is something that we faced, and I'm sure Senator Cherargei is a witness. And it will help us cure one very systemic challenge that we keep facing in the implementation of our Integrated Financial Management System, the voiding of transactions. That is something that we kept facing throughout, that when you are doing your requisition, you are saying that you want to pay so-and-so. Once the money hits the county revenue fund, you pay so-and-so. But there's no way of following up this money, because this audit will come after 3 years. But if, I would be very happy to be informed, Mr. Speaker, if time allows.
Take note of the fact that, of course, him informing you, Senator Cherargei informing you, will definitely be considered within the times that you had been given.
Unfortunately, I can't allow you to spend my 5 minutes. I just have 5 minutes. And then you also know that I'm very wise, so I mean, my wisdom can actually carry us along. Mr. Speaker, this voiding of transaction will actually be seen if we get these monthly reports from the Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Speaker, and they should be furnished to the area senator, so that I will be able to get a view. We requested for such and such an amount of money, because this money does not come in bulk. We requested for such and such an amount of money. This money is the money that came to the CRF. This is how this money was spent. That is the only way you can say that you are playing, your oversight role, Mr. Speaker. There is no other way, Mr. Speaker, of saying that after you have to wait until we get the report of the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker, because this report is not coming instantly, Mr. Speaker. Finally, you know, even if we give autonomy to the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, they still remain as some section of something that is required of the county executive committee member for finance to sign for monies that are still going to the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. If we get these monthly reports of IFMIS, Mr. Speaker, we shall get to know how much of this money that was in the requisition went to the county assembly, how much went to the county government. We shall also see how much of this money that has come to the counties is going to development and how much is going to current expenditure, Mr. Speaker. Because
Unfortunately, Senator Medhu, your 5 minutes is spent. This was, well, give Senator Medhu 30 seconds, and 30 seconds it is.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your magnanimity, Mr. Speaker. I was just saying, you know, every time we get to the 30th of June of every year, and we say that there's some money that has remained with the national government, most of the time the money that remains in the national government is not development money. They expend every recurrent expenditure. So when they are doing the supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker, this money that was meant to go to development is diverted to other places. There's no way to view how this money is being spent in terms of what is going to development, what is going to recurrent, if we do not have monthly reports of IFMIS. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Medhu. Before I give this time to the mover, I have got a communication to make on visiting delegation of teachers and students from Chemase Boarding School from Nandi County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 8 teachers and 95 students from Chemase Boarding School in Nandi County who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. Now, Senator Cherargei, the Senator for Nandi County, in under 1 minute, welcome the delegation from your county.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Although they are almost walking in, I want to extend a warm welcome to Chemase Junior Secondary School and Senior School. I've just met them outside, Mr. Speaker, and I've done, as per tradition, you have guided us. I want to extend a warm welcome. They come from Chemase, Chemelil Ward, Tindred constituency, Nandi County. I know you are familiar. To give them all the best, and I have encouraged them to work hard on behalf of you as the Speaker and on behalf of the House. I'm aware that is seated in gallery is Milai School from Wazingishu County, which is a neighboring school. I want to also wish them the best. Wazingishu is one of our neighboring counties and one of our important North Rift regions with the only city county, and also tell them to work hard, be disciplined, be God-fearing, and if there are issues, always engage your teachers and your parents. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I yield back the mic.
Thank you, Senator Cherargei. Now, Senator Okiya Omtata, the time available is for you to reply. However, the Speaker is guiding that you could donate part of the time you have to Senator Ojienda to comment, then you finally reply. You donate 5 minutes. Senator Professor Tom Ojienda, Senator Omtata has graciously donated 5 minutes of his time for your comments on the motion. Thereafter, you will reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the prolegomena to my contribution to this motion, Mr. Speaker, I wish to highlight that the integrated financial systems and the process that is used by counties, Mr. Speaker, to defray expenses and payment to contractors is a system, Mr. Speaker, that must be transparent, must be accessible, and must allow senators to oversight and to undertake their function under Article 96 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, when payments are made to contractors without an aging process, it is impossible for senators to know who has been paid, on what consideration, and often, Mr. Speaker, counties favor certain contractors over others. Counties ignore certain contractors whose services, Mr. Speaker, were contracted before the governors in office were elected. And that is the case in my county, Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. So that you find, Mr. Speaker, that contractors who rendered services during the tenure of the first governor, Jack Ranguma, are not paid. Mr. Speaker,
This IFMIS systems, this system that is proposed in the motion by Senator Omtata, and that has been the subject of litigation in court, Mr. Speaker, will allow senators to oversight and to know who has been paid. That report, Mr. Speaker, if shared, will enable senators to deal with the weaknesses in payment systems, so that, Mr. Speaker, we know once funds are sought and go into the account of the county for payment, then approver 2 cannot divert payments to another contractor when the money was secured to pay another contractor. Mr. Speaker, that would help in oversight, and that is why I support, Mr. Speaker, this motion. The question of data and information will then make it easy, Mr. Speaker, for accountability of officers who, at times without even the knowledge of the governor, undertake diversion of funds to pay third parties. At times, Mr. Speaker, that process of diversion is done within the treasury of the county. It is done without the knowledge of the controller of budget, who has finalized the process of approving payment to a particular supplier, and the schedules return to the county for final payments. Mr. Speaker, this motion is timeless, and we hope that on a monthly basis, if the records are availed to this House, for senators to be able to see how their counties undertake their functions and payments, Mr. Speaker, it will contribute not just to the foundations of the Constitution in terms of oversight, but also, Mr. Speaker, it will allow transparency in payment processes, accountability follow-ups, Mr. Speaker. It will also act as a deterrent. It will deter county officers from violating the law and bypassing certain contractors or certain persons who they do not want to pay or who are not willing to dance to what they want. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Professor Tom Ojenda. Now, Senator Okiya Omtata, it's your turn to reply. Take note of the time you do have. You've got 10 minutes to conclude your reply.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. And I also join Senator Chergey for congratulating our youngsters and their teachers who are among us. I'm most honored to be among young people, because sometimes you go in a group and you find your people are about to die in one room. But here the future looks safe. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm a very happy person today. When I was elected into this House, I understood it not as being bestowed with exceptional privilege. I understood it as being bestowed with immense responsibility. So in this House, and each senator here discharges an office of immense responsibility, not of immense privilege. So, Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, I would like to inform the House that yesterday, the High Court sitting in Vihiga, in the case of Okiya Omtata Koiti versus His Excellency Dr. Paul Nyongeso Otuoma, the Governor of Busia County, and Athi Limited, and one other, rendered a judgment that is very relevant to this information. When you listen to Senator Chergey talk earlier sometime, he referred to a situation whereby I got attacked by hooligans or goons when I was leaving court in Busia, because I had asked for this information that I would like, now that 1 year has gone, I will be given the record of work that the county government had done implementing the budget of 2022-2023, so that I could also carry out my post-mortem functions to see whether the money had gone or been utilized according to the law and effectively. But I was met with resistance. I tried to push, I wrote very many letters. Eventually, Mr. Speaker, we ended up in court. When we went to court in Busia, goons were organized, they pelted my vehicles and my people who were with me. We ran away for safety to the police. And the judge got concerned. So Justice Musyoka asked the Chief Justice to do two things in that case. He certified the case as raising a very fundamental issue, and he asked that the case be moved out of Busia so that it can be heard without hooligan or goons interfering. So the Chief Justice made a bench of 3 judges and appointed the Vihiga High Court to sit and hear the case. So the judgment was rendered yesterday in that case, access to information. And I would like to read, allow me to read, Mr. Speaker, paragraph 110 of the judgment. It's slightly long, but I'll read it because it's very relevant to what is coming here. I'll read that as a reply. The 3-judge bench said, the orders, concluding, the orders that commend themselves to the court are as follows. A declaration that the petitioner and other senators are entitled to personally access all information and documents held by the county governments at all times. And they must be promptly allowed full access to all information and documents on their county government's transactions wherever they request for them. B, a declaration be and is hereby granted that, given the shared oversight mandate with senators, members of county assemblies, MCAs, are entitled to personally access all information and documents on their county government transactions at all times, and they must be promptly allowed full access to all information and documents whenever they request for them. C, a declaration that a representative of the people of his/her county to the Senate under Article 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution, a senator has the corporate mandate to oversight his or her county government on behalf of the people by monitoring and evaluating its policies, operations, and activities. D, a declaration that in his/her official capacity as a democratically elected county leader, representing the sovereign people of his/her county pursuant to Article 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution, an individual senator does not lose his/her rights as a citizen under Article 35 of the Constitution to access information from the county government. E, a declaration that the failure by the first respondent to provide information sought under Article 35(1) of the Constitution and also to publicize the information in accordance with Article 35, Clause 3, on the basis of the petitioner's letters requesting for information was, Roman 1, discriminatory and a violation of the petitioner's right to access information and to fair administrative action. Roman 2, a violation of Article 10 of the Constitution, specifically the values of the rule of law, participation of the people, human rights, good governance, transparency, and accountability. Roman 3, a contravention of Articles 1, Clauses 1 and 2, Article 2, Article 3, Clause 1, Article 10, 19, 20, 21, 24, 73, 75, 96, 174, 175, Clause A, 179, Clause 4, and Clause 6, 201, Clause A, 227, Clause 1, 232, Clause 1, Clause 1, Paragraph A, B, C, D, E, F, and 2A and B, and 259(1) of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. Roman 4, a contravention of Sections 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9, Clause 1 of the Access to Information Act, 2016. B, Sections 3, 4, 5, and 6 of the Fair Administration Action Act, 2015. C, Sections 3, 4, Clause 1, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and 13, 1A, B, C, D of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, D, Section 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the Public Officer Ethics Act 185B, Cap 185B, and E, Section 96, 1 of the County Governments Act, Cap 265. Then F, a declaration that failure by the respondents to provide information sought under Article 35(1)A and also to publish the information in accordance with Article 35(3) is a violation of the obligations imposed on him by Chapter 6 of the Constitution, specifically Article 73, Clause 1, and 75, Clause 1 of the Constitution, and 1, Roman 1, a contravention of Section 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the Public Officer Ethics Act, Cap 185B, E, Section 96, 1 of the County Governments Act, Cap 265, F, Section 166, 4C of the Public Finance Management Act, Article 19.1 of the International Convention of Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, Roman 2, a contravention of Article 19 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and Article 9 of the African Charter and Human Rights, People's Rights, and J, the Parliamentary Service, Senate Monitoring and Evaluation Procedure for Management of Funds, Regulations, 2016. So, Mr. Speaker, the list is long, but I just want to underline that what we are doing in this House today is on all fours with the law. You have seen the House has said, I was denied this information, and it violated so many provisions of the Constitution. And then the order is an order that the petitioner should be given all the information, and the petitioner is me, all the information and documents which the petitioner sought from the respondents via the 15 letters in issue. I wrote 15 letters to the county government of Busia requesting for information on how they had spent the budget. Yes. I would like to be informed briefly. I will pray that you adjust my time a bit.
Do you like to be informed by Senator Chergey?
I would like to be, but be brief.
I will be just to the point. Thank you, Senator Okoitio Mtata. The school that is leaving is Chemase, number 1, junior and senior school. Number 2, I wanted to inform through the speaker that I also wrote to the governor of Nandi to give me with information. But he wrote back by telling me that since audit has done under Article 229, I don't have a right as the area senator to access any information and wait for the audit report. So my question only, as part of information and clarity.
Is it a question or information, Senator?
Information. So I wanted clarity also so that I don't rise up against Speaker, is whether the ruling can be implemented across the 47 counties. I yield back, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Mtata.
Yes, the ruling was done in REM. It's a judgment in REM. So it combines all county governments. And when I made my pleadings, I did not plead for Busia. I pleaded about the senators of the Republic of Kenya. Remember, I'm a senator of the Republic of Kenya from Busia. So I pleaded for all senators, and the orders cover all senators and MCS across the country. All MCS in Kenya and all senators enjoy these orders. So I was that I should be given the information within 21 days from the judgment date. Mr. Speaker, just 1 minute so that I can finish the order. It's a very important thing for the court.
Give him 1 minute to conclude.
So, and an order of mandamus compelling the respondents to give to the petitioner within a period of not exceeding 21 days from the judgment date all the information the petitioner sought in his letters. The letters are listed here, the word which letter said, and on the issue of cost, they say that every party bears their cost. So this is an important judgment, which Mr. Speaker will request that should be shared in this House and in all county assemblies, because it restores our right to access information. And the motion before your Mr. Speaker, sir, is a motion that requires that access to information be guaranteed, because that's the only way we shall do what they call in Kiswahili, mulika mwizi. I reply, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mtata. You may need to request that we defer the putting
I request that we defer the placing of the question to the point when we shall have, we shall be able to move the question.
Very well.
To a later date.
Very
Thank
well.
you.
Pass one to the provisions of Standing Order 66.3. Putting of the question is deferred to the next sitting of the House. Clerk, can you call the next order? Clerk, call order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and sincere apologies that I was not here when I was supposed to move to give notice, and I appreciate your indulgence. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that aware that Article 53(1)(b) of the Constitution guarantees every child the right to free and compulsory basic education, while Articles 27, 43, 54, and 56 of the Constitution, the Persons with Disabilities Act, the Children's Act, and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities require the state to promote equality, dignity, and access to inclusive education for persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups through appropriate legislative, policy, administrative, and budgetary measures, recognizing that national laws and policies, including the Basic Education Act, the Persons with Disabilities Act, the Children's Act, and the competency-based curriculum framework provide for inclusive and equitable education through reasonable accommodation and appropriate support for learners with disabilities and special education needs, including neurodevelopmental and learning disabilities, that the Constitution assigns early childhood development education and childcare facilities to county governments, while the national government oversees education policy, curriculum, standards, and teacher management, thereby requiring effective intergovernmental coordination to promote disability-inclusive education, concerned that despite existing legal and policy frameworks, many learners with disabilities continue to face barriers in accessing quality education due to gaps in identification, assessment, specialized personnel, assistive technologies, infrastructure, and support services, as highlighted by the Auditor General's Performance Audit on Education for Learners with Special Needs 2025, which revealed deficiencies in resources and institutional capacity, leaving many learners, including those with neurodevelopmental conditions and learning disabilities, inadequately supported despite significant public investment in education. Recognizing that disability-inclusive education requires sustainable financing, accountability, reliable data, evidence-based planning, intergovernmental collaboration, and meaningful participation of persons with disabilities in education processes. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that, 1, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with National Treasury and county governments, shall, within 6 months, develop and submit to Parliament a costed national disability inclusive education implementation and financing framework outlining learner needs, accessibility gaps, support services, implementation timelines, accountability mechanisms, and sustainable financing arrangements. 2, that the Ministry of Education reviews and harmonizes existing laws, policies on disability inclusive education to align with the Constitution, the competency-based curriculum and international obligations, ensuring adequate support for learners with all forms of disabilities. 3, that the Ministry of Education establishes standardized disability data collection and reporting systems and maintain a comprehensive database of learners requiring disability-inclusive education support to inform planning, budgeting, monitoring, and resource allocation. And finally, 4, that the Ministry of Education implements the recommendations of the Auditor General's Performance Audit on Education for Learners with Special Needs 2025 and gives an implementation status to the Senate of the provisions of Section 20 of the Persons with Disabilities Act within 90 days following approval of this motion. Senator Catherine Muma, nominated senator.
Now, Honorable, thank you very much, Senator Muma. Honorable Senators, with that notice, the following orders are hereby deferred. Order number 8 to number 21, and order number 23 to 25. And we may now rise. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 29th of July, 2026 at 9:30 a.m.